Welcome fans inside David E. Hastings Stadium. It may be pushing 40 degrees here in the Royal City, but hey, these two teams are looking to crank up the heat nonetheless. Josh Alderman, Jaden Prasad on the call, and we are here tonight for your Guelph Royals, taking on the reigning and defending Dominico Cup champs, the Barrie Baycats. Baycats enter tonight's contest a 7-8 record, 2 losses as well, 4-4 on the road this season. Not exactly hitting the heights of their championship season last year, but nonetheless, the Royals looking to defend home turf, kicking off a 2-game win streak after snapping a 7-game skid. Now the Baycats enter tonight with a pretty solid starting lineup, top to bottom. Jaden, why don't you take us through it?
The Baycats are going with Brandon Hernandez leading things off, followed by Clayton Keys, Nolan Mackie-Broda, and Willie Garcia in the 2-3-4 holes. Tristan Clark, Noah Hull, Austin Boylan, Andrew Johnson, and Alex Wickett round out the lineup, with starting pitcher 18-year-old Ethan Morris taking the mound for Barrie.
And while we got a second, let's take a look at the defensive lineup for your Guelph Royals tonight. See how they shake up. Patterson, Williams, and Leader will handle the outfield left to right, followed by Takamatsu at first, LaRue at second, Connor Morrow at short, and the hot young upstart Jordan Gallo over at third. Matthew Ward will be catching the starting pitcher tonight, Edgar Garcia. Garcia usually coming out in the closing role for the Royals, so this is a bit of a shock, to say the least, Jaden.
And I am certainly excited to see how Garcia performs today. Out of the starting role, this is his first start of the season. He has gotten into 7 games in relief so far for the Royals, racking up 7.2 innings pitched with 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, and just 3 hits allowed, with 3 saves. So he has certainly penciled himself as the closer for the Royals for the majority of this season so far. But today, head coach Dino Rumel is giving him the start on the mound to see what he can do to start off these ball games. Josh?
Well, and that his IBL stats certainly speak for his skills, but that isn't even mentioning his big league experience. Now, from 2014 to 2022, he played in the systems of no fewer than 5 different teams: the Phillies, the Rays, the Reds, the Twins, and the Washington Nationals, spending time from 2019 to 2021 playing in the majors for the Phillies, Rays, Reds, and the Twins, racking up a 7.74 ERA along with 2 wins, 58 Ks, and just 38 walks. So definitely bringing some top shelf stuff to the Royals. And if anything, do you think that precedent, that history in the major leagues up against, well, facing a tough Baycats team, do you think that's what made Dino Rumel put him in the starter spot tonight?
Well, we've seen tons of success from Garcia this season, and I think this is just Rumel trying to weigh his options here, getting into the middle part of the IBL season. Edgar Garcia can certainly provide depth in a variety of roles here, and Rumel is going to see if Garcia can hold his own starting on the mound. As we look to get underway here with the leadoff hitter Hernandez about to step into the box.
Brandon Hernandez, a former Cardinals prospect himself, and 4 seasons in their system. Cumulative 2.14 ERA, 46 ribeyes along the way, and having a pretty solid start to the season himself. 286 batting average, 11 runs, 7 RBIs. Hernandez in that leadoff spot is plenty dangerous. The first pitch from Garcia, fastball just a bit high. Hernandez, such a dynamic player, brings a lot to these Baycats and was a part of that championship winning team last year. Garcia trying to pound the zone with strikes, but just misses once again, this time inside.
Last year, Hernandez hit .353 over 85 at-bats, 14 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases.
That one's chopped on the ground. LaRue gets a good handle on it, tosses it over to Takamatsu at first. Scooped up just in time to retire the runner. Hernandez brings plenty of speed to those base paths, but even those wheels weren't enough to beat that beautiful throw from Brando.
Well, that is one of the quickest exchanges I've seen in the IBL this season. LaRue ranging to his backhand, picked that ball, and in the blink of an eye, transferred it to his throwing hand. Nice pick over there at first by Takamatsu, and just beat the runner by a hair. That is a very nice play to start the day for the Guelph Royals.
Yeah. Garcia, first pitch to Keys is fastball that just catches the outside low corner. 0-1 count now, 1 out. Nolan Macabroda waiting on deck. As that one, yet another fastball. Garcia quite the flamethrower.
He sure is, and you got to wonder when he starts to flip in that slider. You know, early on in the first inning, he may not want to show it to these Baycats hitters, as there's another strike.
Yeah, Keys hasn't taken a hack at a pitch just yet. 26-year-old former Blue Jays draft pick, former Arizona Diamondbacks draft pick. Faces the 1-2. Another fastball, that one just high and outside. Garcia, despite having, you know, maybe the call's not going his way or the pitch is not being placed quite where he wants to, still looks locked in out there on the mound. Delivers the 2-2. That one just down in the dirt. It seems to me like he's trying to get Keys to take a hack at a pitch, something he hasn't done in this at-bat just yet.
It certainly looks like he's been throwing a few chase pitches, but now with the full count, he's got to attack Keys. Can expect another fastball here.
Let's see if that prediction comes true, as that one is chopped foul, and yep, that was the fastball again. Garcia maybe holding back some of the bigger weapons in his arsenal for a little later on, especially since this is his first start of the season. The Royals playing pretty standard defensive setup. No differentials with Keys at the dish, and that one is going to go just a bit low. Keys will draw the walk. It'll be a runner aboard with 1 out for Nolan Macabroda.
Garcia just having a little bit of trouble locating that fastball early on, and clearly, like we said earlier, he doesn't want to show the Baycats that slider just yet. At least in the first inning, maybe even the first time through the order. Wants to keep that slider hidden for the second time through. Normally, as a reliever coming out of the pen, he's able to throw that slider whenever he wants to, as he's not expecting to face more than a few batters in a game, but here, he's looking to go deep.
Garcia's first pitch to Macabroda, another fastball, this time inside. 1-0 the count. Keys, in his only previous IBL season, 2023 with the Hamilton Cardinals, picked up 29 runs across 27 games played, so he's definitely got wheels, and he's going to take off. Big hack by Macabroda. The throw over to second will not be in time. Actually rolls into the outfield, but Keys, he was too busy dusting off the dirt to notice that one. Pretty good steal from the youngster.
Well, Keys just got an amazing jump over at first base. Read Garcia like a book. Took a little bit of a shuffling, walking lead, and as soon as that front foot went up, Keys was gone. That's something that Garcia needs to work on here if he wants to control the running game. They always say you steal bases on the pitcher, not on the catcher, and that one is certainly on Garcia.
No doubt about it. Ward has an absolute cannon for an arm, and Garcia didn't even check on the runner once. Inside again to Macabroda. This time a ball, 2-1 the count.
Macabroda is 25 years old, out of Saskatoon. Last year, in 133 ABs, hit for a .331 average with 5 homers and 27 RBIs.
Garcia now taking the time to glance over at the runner. Morrow dancing over there at second. No play as that one's chopped foul. 2-2 now the count. Yeah, I doubt Keys would try his luck again, but then again, Garcia hasn't been taking many looks at him. even when he was at first. Now that he's at second, still kind of side-eyeing him up. No real glances to check in on him, and as you can see, Jaden, he's got a pretty healthy lead out there at second. Spins around, and feigning a pickoff attempt was Garcia. Connor Morrow seemed to be a little caught off guard as well.
Yeah, especially with that left-handed hitter in the box, I would doubt that Keys runs in this AB. Morrow is keeping him quite honest over there.
That one, a fastball inside again. Garcia must have the advanced scouting report, has been pounding that inside bottom corner consistently the last 5 pitches. A full count now on Macabroda as Garcia gets set and delivers. Big swing and a miss, make it the first punch out of the night for Edgar Garcia in his first ever IBL start. Macabroda retired swinging, and a pretty big look of disdain on his face as he walks back. Big shake of the head. He is not pleased with that one.
Well, there is that big front door slider from Garcia, finally showing it off to a left-handed batter this time. Started outside in the other batter's box, came right in over the plate. Macabroda didn't have anything to do with it. Swung and missed.
That's going to bring up the 4-hole hitter, Garcia. That one looked to me like a slider that he placed on the outside. 1-0 the count. Now this, Jaden, is quite the interesting battle. 2 former major leaguers going head-to-head. Garcia spent a season with the White Sox back in 2017. Garcia delivers the 1-0, fastball outside. 2-0 now the count. Playing Garcia pretty cautiously here. Lots of pitches away from the range of the bat. Edgar Garcia taking his time here.
Willie Garcia is 32 years old, from the Dominican Republic. In his MLB career, had 105 ABs, 2 homers, and 12 RBIs with the White Sox.
There we go. Garcia, Edgar Garcia looks pretty excited to get that call. 2-1 now the count. A fastball that had a bit of break at the end of it, so it seems to me like he's starting to work in some of those breaking balls as this inning progresses.
And that slider is certainly working well for him. As there's one in the dirt, the back pick. Not in time, but a really nice effort there from Matthew Ward, coordinating with Morrow. And do you think that's something we could see going forward in this game? More back picks for Matthew Ward?
I don't see why not. Ward has an absolute cannon of an arm, has caught many a runner stealing and many more picked off. I wouldn't even be surprised to see them try it again in this inning. As that one, a fastball right up Main Street. 3-2 now the count. That is 4 successive batters that Edgar Garcia has brought to a full count here in the top of the first.
Not exactly what you want in the first inning. That's a lot of pitches thrown by Garcia, but he'll look to get out of it here. The 3-2.
That one, Willie Garcia takes a hack at it, having some words with the home plate umpire. He's got to be careful. He looks pretty heated after that one, but speaking of heat, Edgar Garcia more than delivers here in the first, his first ever IBL start, picks up 2 Ks and leaves a runner stranded as we'll head to the bottom of the first inning. Still no score. Now, Jaden, this game has quite the story behind it. It is the very first meeting between these 2 teams since Game 4 of the Dominico Cup Finals back in last September, September 14th to be exact. It was a massive night for the Baycats as they took home the title. Jaden, take us through it.
Yeah, Barrie beat Guelph 6-2 on a Saturday night right here at David E. Hastings Stadium. The Baycats swept the best-of-7 series, and they did not lose a single game in the postseason, eliminating Toronto and London before taking down the Royals, who were in the 4 seed entering that series.
Yeah, that was a big accomplishment for the Baycats to take it here on the Royals' home turf, and I believe they even have the flag that they planted on the mound somewhere out by their dugout, bringing it back as an emblem of good luck. Well, to have a bit of good luck, they are going to need, well, let's start that one from the top. The Baycats are going to need a little bit of good luck as they face off against a very tough Royals lineup. Jaden, take us through it.
J.D. Williams is leading off for the Royals with shortstop Connor Morrow, catcher Matthew Ward, and first baseman Garrett Takamatsu following him. In the 5-hole is the right fielder Andy Leader. Jordan Gallo is at third base, batting 6th. Brendo LaRue, who made that really nice play at second base, is batting 7th. Ethan Hammond is the DH, and rounding things out is the left fielder, Ashton Patterson.
And starting things on the mound tonight for the Baycats is going to be Ethan Morris. Take us through his stats.
Ethan Morris is born on Canada Day 2006. That'll make you feel old. In fact, he's just 2 months older than I am. He sits in the high 80s with his fastball, likes to flip in that curveball in the mid 70s, and even has a slider in the low 80s. Furthermore, he throws that changeup, which is a similar velocity to that curveball, but obviously the two move in different directions. Leading off here for the Royals is center fielder J.D. Williams, who looks to get things started against the 18-year-old Morris.
Williams enters tonight's contest with a .327 batting average. Also has 18 hits on the season, 4 of them doubles. He looks to get the party started against Morris tonight. First pitch from Morris, a fastball down low, 0-1 the count. JD, just 26 years old, but brings so much veteran leadership to this young Royals team. That's Morris, his second pitch. That one down in the dirt, 1-1 now the count.
You can see the third baseman, Austin Boylan, was playing just about even with the bag for that first pitch of the at-bat, maybe anticipating a bunt. He's backed off a little bit here, but still not ruling it out, as Williams certainly has the speed to do it.
They call him Mr. Left Turns Only for a reason, as that pitch gets called a strike. 1-2 now the count. J.D. Williams, for all of his accolades and his outstanding bat, he also has a team-leading 17 strikeouts on the season. Not a good record for him. Morris's next pitch, a fastball that just drifts high. 2-2 now the count.
J.D. Williams will get into his two-strike approach here. As they say, the first 2 strikes are yours. The third strike is for the team. You got to do anything to get that barrel on the ball and get on to lead off the game for the Royals.
Let's see if JD can do that with the 2-2. That one, a ball that broke right at the last second and drifted over the heart of the plate, and JD, he is not pleased at all with that call.
Well, a couple close calls here early on from the umpire, but J.D. Williams should have been swinging at that pitch. I mean, the first one was taken right at the knees, and Williams didn't even swing in that AB.
Well, let's take a look at the Baycats' defensive lineup for tonight. Clark, Keys, and Macabroda in the outfield. Boylan, Hernandez, Wickett, and Hall in the infield. Morris on the mound, and Johnston behind the dish. As Morris gets set and delivers his first pitch to Connor Morrow, starting shortstop for your Royals tonight. He played a big role in the Royals' defeat. For the Royals side of things, I mean. 2 for 4 on the night, 1 run, and one of just those 2 RBIs that came for the Royals that night.
And we saw again the third baseman, Boylan, was in on the grass to start that at-bat. He's now backed off as it's a 2-0 count, and Morrow obviously has the green light in this hitter's count here.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't swing. Let's see if that happens. Good vision to let that one slide. 3-0 now the count.
And Morrow's got a real good eye up at the plate and has taken a few pitches just off the outside edge for balls. It's a 3-0 count here.
Morris gets set, delivers the 3-0. That one just broke again over top of the heart of the plate right at that last second. Must be that slider. 3-1 now the count.
The 28-year-old Morrow is still in a hitter's count, 3-1. And I'm sure if he gets one he likes, he's going to rip it.
He takes a big hack at that one. Trying to send that one yard, but no dice. A full count now on Morrow, who, for all his great vision at the plate, can't seem to make it work on the stats side of things. Just an .067 batting average, 1 hit across 4 games. Has picked up 3 walks along the way, so the vision definitely coming into play, but not as much as these Royals would have wanted.
2-strike approach here from Morrow. Got to put the bat on the ball if it's close.
Morris gets set. Delivers. That one chopped just foul. Johnston, to his credit, made a play at trying to get that ball, but no luck for him. As both batter and pitcher are going to take a second to collect themselves.
Yeah, after that poor first at-bat from J.D. Williams, Morrow is just trying anything to get on base and does not want to look at strike 3. You can see he's extra crouched for this 3-2 pitch.
That one chopped on the ground, picked up by Boylan. He's got plenty of time, flips it over to Hall at first. And just like that, we have got 2 outs here in the home half of the first inning. Well, that is going to bring up the Royals catcher, Matthew Ward. Ward having himself quite the hot start to the season. Batting .333. 9 runs, 14 hits, 4 of which are doubles, not to mention 1 home run and 6 RBIs. He has been a big addition to this Royals roster.
And not only on the offensive side of things, but on the defensive side as well. Ward has a great arm from behind the dish, like you said, having picked off multiple runners and thrown some out on the bases, catching him stealing. He's going to try to do something here with 2 outs and nobody on.
And despite Johnson's best attempts to frame up that pitch, that one is outside, 1-0. Morris, like you mentioned, just 18 years old. Quite the battle of youth versus experience as he goes up against quite a tenured Royals roster tonight, many of whom played in last year's finals. 2-0 now the count. 2 outs, no runners aboard here in the home half of the first.
And Morris is missing a little bit outside with that fastball here early on. I think he's placing it pretty well, trying to get the hitters to chase and staying outside of that power alley. But he's not getting those calls over there on the outside half of the plate. He's forced to come inside now.
Inside a little bit. That one more closer to the heart of the plate than anything. 2-1 the count. Morris looks like he's still shaking off some nerves out there on the mound, taking time in between pitches to collect himself, to adjust his hat. It is quite hot here at Hastings, but should be locked in nonetheless, as that one sent sailing foul back into the parking lot. 2-2 now the count. As it'll be Ward taking a second to collect himself, adjusting his gloves and chatting up the umpire.
Ward is hitting .333 on the early season. Looking to start something here with 2 outs, nobody on.
Well, he might just be able to, as he's worked himself into a 3-2 count. Back-to-back full counts for Royals hitters here in the bottom of the first inning.
A whole lot of full counts early on in this ball game. Lots of pitches being thrown here by the 2 starters, and you gotta think that is not exactly what the head coaches and the pitching coaches wanted for either of these guys. Relatively inexperienced as starting pitchers.
Yeah, definitely looking for middle-of-the-road outings, as Morris will stay out on the hill a little longer here in the first as Ward draws the walk. So a runner aboard with 2 outs. So now that we got a second, let's take a look at the umpires for tonight's game. Guthrow behind the plate, Rose over at first, and Newell covering third base. Pretty solid officiating crew all around. Matthew Ward, the runner at first, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first for Garrett Takamatsu, and he's going to send that one sailing into deep center field, but doesn't have enough carry on it. Keys will range over to his left, makes the grab, and the Royals are retired. So both the Baycats and the Royals leave runners stranded and aren't able to make anything of it. However, both pitchers' pitch counts have been run up quite a bit, so looks like it'll be a war of attrition here at Hastings. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV. We'll be back just after this. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium here on Guelph Royals TV. It is your Royals taking on the visiting Barrie Baycats. Josh Alderman, Jaden Prasad on the call. Still no score in this one as we enter the visiting half of the second inning. Edgar Garcia still out there on the mound for the Royals. Has had a pretty solid start to his first ever IBL start. 2 Ks, left a runner stranded. Gets set, delivers that first pitch to Clark, drifting back is leader, but he'll get to it in time. 1 pitch is all it takes as the first batter of the second inning is retired.
A real nice swing there by Clark, the 29-year-old out of Brampton. Here is the number 6 hitter for the Baycats, first baseman Noah Hull, the 24-year-old from Toronto, Ontario. Last year, Hull threw 72 ABs, hit 306 with 11 RBIs and 2 stolen bases. Here, hitting from the left side of the plate, fouls that one with a check swing. Not exactly what he wanted to do there, but it's an early strike for Edgar Garcia.
I'd say so. Garcia, like we mentioned, the pitch count getting pretty high with that pitch. Now up to 23 pitches already in this outing. Not something you want to see if you're the Royals coaching staff, as that one's down in the dirt, 1-1 the count.
Well, Garcia is now getting more comfortable using that slider and those off-speed pitches. Here in the second inning, you see that one was just bounced in there for a ball.
Hull, pretty solid start to the season, .231 batting average, along with 2 homers and 5 ribeyes. As that one, a fastball right up Main Street, 1-2 now the count. Hull was a key player in the regular season last year for the Baycats, batting .306 with 22 hits across 24 games. Not to mention 15 runs and 11 RBIs. A dynamic player that hasn't really gotten started in this season as he fouls that one back to stay alive. Really looking for something to spark his offensive activity to get back to where he was at last season.
Hull does have a couple of homers early on in this season. Certainly got some power hitting there in the 6th spot.
And that's what's so dangerous about this Baycats lineup. Power up and down as we see Hull showing it off, sending that one way back to the 397 side. And that's going to hit the ground. Patterson able to pick it up, and Hull is going to have himself a stand-up one-out double here in the top of the 2nd.
And just as we start to talk about that power coming from Hull, he puts a charge into one, hits it to the very deepest part of the ballpark over by that 397 sign in left center field. But hitting a baseball 390 feet to the opposite field is not an easy task. That's some great power there from Hull, who just got unlucky with the left center field gap being so deep. But he finds himself on second base looking to score the opening run.
The big man Boylan up at the dish as he takes the first pitch, looking 1-1 the count. Yeah, I'd say if Patterson and Williams weren't patrolling that left center area, that very well could have been a triple for Hull. Thankfully, the Roadrunner and Mr. Left Turns Only were there to save the day for the Royals as that one's drifting back. Leader's going to pick it up. Hull is going to tag. Makes the run towards third, and he will get in sliding. So it'll be a runner on third for the catcher, Andrew Johnson. Hull, good vision there to see Leader. I mean, he wasn't too far back, wasn't close to the warning track or anything, but still decently a ways away. Enough so that he could tag up and make the run over to third with little to no opposition.
Yeah, that's a really nice base running play there by Hull, who had a really nice secondary lead and had to really scamper back to second base if he wanted to tag up, which he did. Now finds himself on third base with 2 outs.
That's going to bring up Andrew Johnson, who takes that first pitch for a strike. Johnson just 21 years old, batting just 111 on the season, 1 hit across 5 games, but has also picked up 2 ribeyes. Definitely lots of potential in this young catcher. And
Johnston, so far this season, hitting 1 for 9, a 111 batting average, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, so not quite the start he's been looking for, but only 9 at-bats. It's very early in his season. He's looking to get things going.
Well, he may not be able to up against Garcia. Picks out the slider for that one. Brings the count to 1-2.
And you see Johnson there kind of backing out of the box, perhaps a little nervous to face that slider. It's a 1-2 count here. We'll see what Garcia pulls out.
Fans starting to rally behind the home side, but their well wishers won't make that pitch connect with the strike zone. Evens the count up at 2-2. And we are seeing a little bit of activity up in the Royals bullpen. Not necessarily someone warming up just yet, but definitely tossing the ball around out there. Something to keep an eye on as this inning progresses. That one chopped on the ground, just foul. Johnston shaking his head. He was fully convinced that one was fair, and I think plenty of Baycats fans here in attendance thought so too.
That one is just about as close as it gets. As you see, the third base umpire was the one who made that call, and he is situated in a perfect spot, so I wouldn't argue his judgment. Johnston, the catcher, looking to get something going. There, he has a runner on third base. A nice big gap up the middle in the infield. We'll see what he can do here with 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Garcia set and delivers. That one is chopped sky high, but it is foul. Souvenir for one of the many youngsters here in attendance. Good crowd at Hastings tonight. Plenty of Royals fans and Baycats fans making the trip in, packing the park. And that's something you love to see, especially here on a pretty hot weeknight in the Royal City. The 2-2 catches the edge of the strike zone, making the third punch-out of the evening for Garcia. He is hyped, so are the fans, and so are we. Edgar Garcia having quite the performance here tonight.
And that one was absolutely painted right on the outside corner. Andrew Johnston knew it. He asked the umpire if that was right on the corner, and I'm sure the umpire said yes, as that was the perfect pitch to make for Garcia in that at-bat. It was a really nice battle between him and Johnston, with Johnston fouling off a couple of balls, and I'm sure some kids here at David E. Hastings Stadium will be bringing those baseballs back to the concession stand to exchange them for some freezies or for a sweet treat today on this really hot day. And that's one of the many initiatives that the Guelph Royals do for their fans here at Hastings Stadium. Josh, what do you think of that program that the Royals have?
I think that's just indicative of how much this organization loves its fans. I mean, it goes without saying that here in the IBL, it's the fans who are the lifeblood of this league, and the Royals do their best night in and night out, afternoon in and afternoon out, to make sure these fans stay appreciated and keep coming back to the park, which obviously they do based on tonight's attendance.
Yeah, it is an amazing turnout here on a really, really hot Tuesday night, but it's 8 o'clock now. Things are kind of starting to settle down weather-wise. You see fans buying 50-50 tickets just below us, with one lucky fan going home with a really nice cash prize here after this one.
Yeah, nice little chunk of change to go along with what is, and I'm predicting it now, going to be a very exciting matchup between these two teams, if the first 1.5 innings are any indication.
Yeah, well, these teams are very well matched for each other. The Royals are 6-9 on the season. The Baycats are 7-8. So these teams are just beside each other in the standings. The Royals looking to jump ahead of the Baycats here in the next couple of days.
Yeah, this would be a massive victory for the Royals, and both of these teams not exactly having the strongest starts to the seasons, but as Mark Perry said back on Saturday's game against the Red Sox, you don't win championships in June, but you do lay the groundwork for them, and by picking up a win here today, both of these teams, either of these teams, could be setting themselves up for future success, especially if they come to meet each other down the line. And something I do want to point out, Jaden, is Morris has been having some control issues, even in just his warm-up tosses with Johnston. I mean, do you think that indicates any issues for him?
Well, as a pitcher myself, warm-ups aren't always indicative of what is to come in the inning. Sometimes you have a great warm-up, and the first batter steps into the box, and you're all over the place. Here, Morris is hoping it's the opposite. He's hoping to get those jitters out in the warm-up. And here, as he faces Andy Leader, who has just stepped in the box, he will look to dial in that strike zone. We'll see if he can do it here against the right fielder, Leader.
First pitch is smacked sky high, but foul. And just like the previous 4 Royals batters, Boylan, the third baseman, is playing pretty high up on that infield grass, while all 3 other infielders are playing practically on the outfield grass, trying to prevent the bunt, no matter which side of the dish the batters bat from. As Morris gets set. Taking his time here, and time called by Leader. Right at the last possible second there. Maybe a little mind games from the veteran. Leader is a 3-time All-Star for a reason. Knows his way around this league, inside and out. Looking to get the Royals offense going here. That one, fastball sent high, 1-1 the count.
And down the left field line, we are seeing pitcher Connor King making his way out to the bullpen. You have to wonder if Garcia is being used more as an opener than a starter today for the Royals, as King is more of an established starter here in the IBL, perhaps looking to get the bulk roll tonight.
Yeah, hard to say, because Garcia has had a good start to this game. I mean, but that pitch count just keeps getting higher and higher as these Baycats batters almost testing his mettle, daring him to throw even more at them. Something to keep an eye on as this one progresses. That one, another fastball on the outside corner yet again. Morris has been playing leader a little safe. Plenty of fastballs and plenty of them high and outside. See?
Does look like Morris is certainly struggling with his command, but there he's looking into his hat, perhaps for a sign from the catcher or maybe even some words of encouragement. You never know what these pitchers have in their hats, as he generates a swing and miss there from leader with what looked like a changeup that may have started out over the plate and dove down and away from leader, who wasn't expecting that one. That is a really nice pitch from Morris to bring the count to 3-2.
Yeah, Morris getting set, delivers that payoff pitch, and it pays off for leader to let him go as he's going to draw the walk. And with leader on board, that is going to bring up the youngster, Jordan Gallo, who is having such a hot start to the season. A .385 batting average, 5 hits, 3 runs, and 4 walks. So for a youngster, just 18 years of age, he's got plenty of veteran vision at that plate. And like we mentioned before, plenty of returning players from last year's championship finals team on the Royals side of things. So it's those kind of guys that provide such great mentorship to the youngsters, the up-and-comers like Gallo, who are doing quite a bit of damage early on.
And this is a matchup of 18-year-olds here. Gallo, the batter, versus Morris, the pitcher.
Got 2 future aces in the making. 1-1 now the count as that one sails past Gallo. Hasn't taken a hack at a pitch yet. Letting his vision lead the way as leader. Pretty healthy lead at first. Not going to go, and that one smacked out to center field. Keys has got a good read on it. He'll come over, make the grab. Leader not going to tempt fate, trotting back over to first.
It's going to be difficult early on for these Guelph Royals base runners over at first base to get a good lead and steal second base, because Morris is a southpaw, and he's got that kind of deceptive leg kick, and you don't really know if he's going to the plate or not until he makes that deciding move with that front leg. So it makes it all more difficult for that runner over at first base. As you see, leader has a good lead, but can't get his secondary until the pitcher Morris commits to the plate.
So from one young gun to another, that's 22-year-old Brando LaRue now up at the dish. Second baseman has flashed his defensive skills over at second base. Let's see if he can get the same going on the offensive side. 1-0 the count, leader. Still a pretty big lead over at first, and just one out here in the home half of the second. Morris with a casual toss over to first. That wasn't a pickoff attempt in my eyes, more of a, hey, we're keeping an eye on you, little warning shot towards leader.
Yeah, pitchers typically have an A move and a B move to first base. That was certainly the B move. He doesn't want to show off that A move to the Royals just yet, as he's looking to catch somebody off guard today. It may not be leader, but eventually he's going to try it for real.
Yeah, I don't think he would try anything with leader. One of the fastest runners, pure runners in the IBL. Morris gets set. Checks in on the runner. Delivers the 1-1. The bunt attempt by LaRue finds grass. He is going to just, and I mean just, miss out on picking up a bunt single there. Great diving stop from Hull over at first. I mean, that is phenomenal work. He made, I mean, not a routine play by any means. Diving himself to the bag, getting his feet down before LaRue's. Talk about a great defensive game so far, Jaden.
Yeah, and a great offensive attempt there by the Royals. It looked like leader started towards second base early on and then put the brakes on. But the batter LaRue got that bunt down over at first base to push leader up to second, and LaRue was out by a hair over at first. Had a real good shot at making this a really threatening inning here for the Royals. But instead, runner on second base, 2 outs. And there's a ball to the 8-hitter, Ethan Hammond.
Hammond, the young buck, 22-year-old out of Toronto. Batting .234 on the season, 11 hits, 2 of them doubles. Not to mention 8 RBIs. Would love to make it 9 on the season so far here in this at-bat as Morris gets set and delivers another pitch inside. But I'd like to point out the great defensive work by Johnston to kind of slide over, quite literally, both times to cover up the ball as they started to stray closer and closer to the batter.
Certainly, and it looked like Morris was a little bit unhappy with his landing spot after that pitch. I'm wondering if maybe the grounds crew will come out in between innings to fix something out there.
Well, it could just be control issues, but hey, control certainly seems to be back for Morris as he paints the bottom left corner with a strike there. 2-1 now the count. 2 outs leader, the runner over at second. Morris shaking off sign after sign from Johnston. He's got something in mind here for the 2-1. The pitch. Fastball outside and try as he might. Johnston just couldn't frame it up right enough for the umpire to give him the call.
That is something we have seen a lot of from Johnston early on today, getting his body behind that baseball and presenting it really nice for the home plate umpire. Johnston maybe has stolen a couple of strikes, but certainly cannot steal that one, as that's way inside on Hammond, my mistake, who draws the walk.
So with Ethan Hammond aboard, that's going to turn things over to the 9-hole hitter, the Roadrunner Ashton Patterson. Patterson has such a great first step off the base, has had 8 stolen bases last season, not quite nearing that total yet this year, but still getting plenty of chances to show his wheels out there in left field. As Morris delivers his first pitch, the Roadrunner, a strike inside, 0-1 the count.
Well, Patterson hasn't got off to the start that he wanted this season, which is why he's hitting in the 9-hole today, hitting just 121 so far, over 33 at-bats. He's going to pop that one foul down the left side and into the dugout of the Royals.
Had a couple Royals ducking and diving out there in the dugout. But thankfully everyone is okay and we can get back to our regularly scheduled programming. 0-2 now the count. Leader the runner at second, Hammond the runner at first, and Patterson the man at the dish. The 0-2. Sent sky high to shallow left field. Ranging in is going to be Clark. He'll make the grab, so for back-to-back innings, the Royals leave runners aboard, something they've been having trouble with in their last few games. A plot point to keep an eye on as this one progresses. Still no score here in this one. 0-0 heading in to the top of the third. Stay tuned to Royals TV.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. Josh Alderman, Jaden Prasad on the call here in a scoreless contest so far between your Guelph Royals and the visiting Barrie Baycats, and we implore you to go check out the IBL website to learn more about this season's all-star game. As that bunt is dropped down, Garcia is going to handle it himself, tosses it over to Takamatsu at first, but that one goes wide and it is going to skip out of play. So the runner will advance to third. Yep, looks like they're going to send him back to second. That ball rolled out of play even before the batter had a chance to get around. So one pitch is all it takes, and we've already got a runner on board.
And that is not a play that you want to be making as a pitcher, especially a right-handed pitcher, Garcia, who is going to fall off the mound on the first base side. But instead, he now had to go all the way over to third base to field that ball with the bare hand, which he did quite well, but he did not plant himself. He just kind of fired over in the general area of first base and missed it by quite a lot. Generally, that is going to be the third baseman's ball, and in my opinion, Gallo certainly should have had that. Maybe just called for it a little bit louder.
Garcia a little too eager as that one chopped over to second. Morrow is going to try and get the runner, and he does. So call it a fielder's choice. Hernandez is going to be the runner over at first, but the threat from Wicked is neutralized. Great stuff from Connor Morrow.
And that is an awesome heads-up play by Morrow, who knew he had time with that hard hit line drive. And you can see he didn't really go back or come forward on it. He just kind of sat there, let the ball corral into his body, knocked it down, and got the runner at third base. Just an awesome heads-up play there by the veteran shortstop, Connor Morrow.
So Hernandez, the speedy runner over at first, as Garcia is going to try and pick him off. The tag from Takamatsu not in time.
And again, that's going to be the B move from Edgar Garcia. A little bit slower with the feet, although he did fire it in there over at Takamatsu quite quickly. Generally, you're going to see both of the feet move at the same time with his A move, as that one is just high for a ball.
Yeah, Garcia going back to Old Faithful, the fastball. The four-seamer has been working wonders for him. Hasn't given up a run just yet. And if you're the Royals, you're hoping it stays that way. Garcia's been on it tonight, as that one's called strike. 1-1 the count.
Well, Clayton Keys is the batter, and over his indie ball career, he's had 98 ABs, hit for a 204 average with a 381 OBP, so he will take his share of walks. Has a real good eye at the plate, but he takes that one right down the middle for a strike.
Yeah, already experienced in the IBL, the aforementioned season in 2023 with the Cardinals, 32 hits across 27 games. So he's got plenty of tenure, plenty of experience in this league, but now looking to make it count as that one sent deep back to center field. Ranging back is J.D. Williams. He will make the catch. Hernandez held over at first, and that, a dazzling display of power from Keys, though it didn't exit the field of play. That was still such a great swing, and I mean, does that indicate that the Barrie Baycats have kind of gotten a good feel for what Garcia has to offer?
I mean, Keys is hitting in the 2-hole for a reason. He is certainly a very talented hitter, and just got unlucky with that one, hitting it to the deepest part of the ballpark again, left center field. Just got under that one. I wouldn't say the Baycats have Garcia's number just yet, but as that pickoff move is really close over there at first base.
Well, I mean, the Baycats are now making their second trip up to the plate. Most of the Baycats, top of the order, I should say.
Yeah, and generally, if you throw an opener, he's not going to go more than the first time through the order. So it looks like Garcia is wanting, at least, to get the bulk of the innings here in this game. So you certainly hope that the Baycats don't have his number as of yet. But just to be safe, Dino Rumel did send the pitcher Connor King down to the bullpen after the first inning, so something to keep an eye on there.
That one's chopped foul by the batter, Mackie-Broda. Mackie-Broda, in his 3 years of college ball, a 346 cumulative average, 127 RBIs, not to mention 27 homers. So this guy's got plenty of pop in his bat, to say the least. A dangerous hitter and someone you want in your 3-hole spot. But now he's facing an 0-2 count and 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Garcia delivers. The runner will attempt to steal, but it's all for naught as that one's fouled back by Mackie-Broda. He stays alive. Count remains 0-2. And again, there we see that lethal first step of Hernandez. Showed it off plenty of times in his shortened regular season last year and his deep playoff run with these Baycats. So lethal, so quick out there on the base paths. Something Garcia really needs to keep an eye on, something he hasn't done well so far in this game for all of his positives. As he delivers the 0-2, that one chopped foul again. Mackie-Broda swinging early on the fastball there, trying to stay alive any which way he can.
Mackie-Broda is battling here with 2 strikes. This is exactly what you want in a 2-strike count, pardon me. Just fight off all those pitches until you get one you like. Trying to force Garcia into making a mistake. Let's see if it happens here.
Garcia delivers, and that one is going to be chopped into shallow left field. Patterson gets a handle on it, but not before it hits the outfield grass. That is going to be a 2-out single for Mackie-Broda. So now 2 runners aboard with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. That is the right fielder, former big leaguer, Willie Garcia. Stepping up to the dish as umpire cleaning off home plate, keeping it nice and shiny.
Willie Garcia signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates as an international free agent all the way back in 2010, 15 years ago. Can you believe it? He made his pro debut in 2010 as he swings and misses, on that breaking ball from Edgar Garcia. Now, Willie Garcia only played for one team in the big leagues. That was the Chicago White Sox. Like we mentioned before, had 105 ABs with the White Sox, hit .238 with a .305 on base percentage, 2 homers, and 12 RBIs.
The 0-1 now becomes the 0-2. That one, fastball on the outside low corner. 0-2 now the count.
Right on the corner for Edgar Garcia. Willie Garcia may not have liked that one, but now he's got a battle. He's in a 2-strike count of his own. He has a big hole on the right side of the infield. Let's see if he can make use of it.
Edgar Garcia sends that one a little high. Willie Garcia puts the bat to the ball, but it is fouled back. So Willie will stay alive in this one. Well, we will have to see. He does have that big league experience. If it's going to be Willie's time here at Hastings, such a high leverage situation in just the top of the 3rd inning. As Edgar Garcia shakes off a couple signs from Ward. Finally getting something he likes and delivers. That one down in the dirt. Hernandez not going to attempt to fade, as we've already discussed the absolute cannon that Ward has. And I mean, that's the sportsmanship that you love to see. Checking in on Willie Garcia as well. He took a pretty big hack at that one and kind of stumbled forward afterwards. Looks like he's all right, and you can see the two cordially chatting each other up. You love to see it.
Absolutely. And maybe some hometown, hometown acquaintances here from Willie Garcia and Edgar Garcia, both hailing from the Dominican Republic. As that one is in the dirt again. Willie Garcia is from the capital of the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo. Edgar Garcia hails from Sabana Grande de Palenque.
Nice pronunciation.
That's what minoring in Spanish will do for you, as it's a 2-2 count from Edgar Garcia to Willie Garcia. 2 runners on, 2 outs here in the top of the third.
Edgar gets set and delivers. That one, a big swing and a miss from Willie. And that is going to send the Baycats down. They leave runners aboard yet again, something that has been a common theme from both sides tonight. They just haven't been able to make the most of their moments. And Jaden, do you see that turning around anytime soon?
Well, it certainly has not looked promising for either side, really, early on, as they have both left a number of runners on base. And you can see there, Willie Garcia just had to expand his strike zone a little bit, as you do with 2 strikes. And he swung at that pitch that was probably just low, just away. Didn't take a real convincing hack at it. It was a very defensive swing, and that did not work out in the end for him. Just overpowered, overmatched there by Edgar Garcia, who put that pitch in a perfect spot. That one is not so much the fault, per se, of Willie Garcia. It's just perfection from Edgar Garcia, I must say.
Yeah, I see no reason not to take a hack at that one. I mean, you got 2 runners aboard. Why not try for it? That is going to bring Morris back up to the mound. Yeah, Garcia now up to 54 pitches across 3 innings of play. I mean, 3 innings from Garcia, no runs. That's about as good as you can get. He's a high leverage reliever, as we mentioned, has been playing closer for the Royals, shutting the door. But that's just good, solid work from Edgar Garcia out there tonight.
Garcia certainly having himself a night so far, 3 scoreless innings, but 18 pitches per inning is a little bit on the high side. Not necessarily something that you want to see if you're Dino Rumel or part of this Royals coaching staff, but I'm sure they're pleased with 3 scoreless innings to start this game, and it remains to be seen if Garcia will come out again, but I see no reason why he wouldn't.
Yeah, that was going to be my question to you. Do you keep Garcia in the game when he's obviously wheeling and dealing, picking up numerous strikeouts and getting batters swinging left, right, and center? Do you keep him out even with the high pitch count?
Well, if I made the decisions, I would certainly keep him in there at least until they get to the bottom of the Baycats order. That was the 4-hitter, Willie Garcia, so they still have 5 through 9 to get through. And Garcia can certainly put those guys away for a second time. Maybe the 3rd time through the order, you change things up and you go to Connor King or one of the other many relievers down there in the Royals bullpen. But for now, it looks like it's going to be Garcia.
Until said otherwise. That is quite the hot take, partner, but we'll see how things turn out as this one progresses. We flip our attention to the action currently in play. 2-1 the count on the leadoff hitter for the Royals, J.D. Williams. As Morris gets set and delivers, Williams sends that one sky high. Ranging back to his left is Hull. He's got a good eye on it, picks it up. And already 1 out here in the home half of the 3rd.
A nice play over there at first base by Hull, and Williams knew it instantly. Just started walking back to the dugout without even looking at that baseball. He knew that Hull was going to make that play. For a very sure-handed first baseman over there. A really nice pickup for the Baycats. Here's the 2-hitter Connor Morrow, who's been flashing the leather early on, looking to get something going here with the bat.
That first pitch from Morris, and a ball outside. 1-0 now the count. And Morris, just as we mentioned, so young, enters tonight after 2 relief appearances, 6 innings across both, 1 win to his name, and a 0.00 ERA as Morrow's going to send that one screaming into shallow center field. Diving for it is Keys, and he is going to make the catch. That is an IBL play of the week, highlight of the night. Clayton Keys, have yourself a night. Whoo! I mean, folks, if that's any indication of what is still to come tonight, go get your popcorn, go get your drinks, and buckle up because this game is just getting started. Keys, what a play.
What a play indeed, and Keys started back on that ball, as you do. Whenever a ball is hit to the outfield, these guys are taught to take that drop step with one of their feet, start back on it, and come in, which is exactly what Keys just did. It almost cost him, but thanks to his speed, he was able to track that one down with a Kevin Pillar-esque catch over there in center.
Now, as we settle back in, an 0-1 count on the Royals catcher, Matthew Ward. Morris wasting little time in between, but that one down in the dirt, 1-1 the count. Ward, like Morrow before him, has been flashing the leather, making some dazzling defensive plays early on in this one. Hasn't quite been able to back it up offensively, but maybe this is his time to shine. As Morris delivers the 1-1, takes a big hack at that one. I don't know if I would have done that if I were him in that situation, Jaden.
Well, to me, it looked like that fastball had some run on it. You gotta wonder if that was a two-seam, and I'm not familiar enough with Morris, but maybe after the game, if I get a chance to ask him if that was indeed a two-seam, because that had some really nice run on it. Ward was taking a hack and for good reason, as he takes another hack there, fouls that one straight back to the backstop. It remains 1-2 on the Royals backstop.
Yeah, we mentioned before just how many pitches that Morris has in his arsenal. The two-seamer really has, if it is a two-seamer, has played a big role in his solid start to the night so far. He's gotten a couple batters swinging and missing with it. Even J.D. Williams to kick off the game, and right there with Ward retires him. Swinging and missing goes the Royals catcher. Well, that is going to do it for the home half of the third, and the third in general. Looks like we'll be having a new pitcher heading out to the mound. Who is that pitcher? We'll tell you right after this break. You're staying tuned to Royals TV. Welcome back, folks, to David E. Hastings Stadium. Barrie Baycats taking on your Guelph Royals. A scoreless game through the first 3 innings. Josh Alderman, Jaden Prasad on the call, and before I was so rudely interrupted by Alex Wickett's bunt in the top of the third inning, I wasn't able to tell you guys about the All-Star game coming up in the Hammer at Bernie Armour Stadium in Hamilton. It'll be July 20th, the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game taking place on the same day. Mark your calendars because it is Sunday, July 20th. Of course, you can visit the IBL's website to vote in your favorite Royals, Baycats, or players of your choosing. And the Cardinals website to buy all the tickets you could want to this season's All-Star festivities. See, I'm so excited about it, I can't even finish the ad read. Remember, it is Sunday, July 20th, so book your tickets and vote for your players right now. Clark takes a big hack at that pitch from the new pitcher on the mound for the Royals, Jordan Taylor.
Jordan Taylor is 18 years old, coming out of Ontario. Played for the Ontario Nationals in his younger years, as that bat is for the fire pit. Nice play by the second baseman to get the runner Clark at first. Jordan Taylor tops out at 89 with his fastball. Generally sits in the high 80s. Flips in that big looping curveball from time to time that sits in the high 60s. And also throws a slider right around the high 70s. So Taylor features 3 very different pitches. And as far as I could tell through only fastballs in that at-bat, we'll see if he wants to switch it up here. And it looks like he did, as there is a big swing and miss.
From Noah Hall, new batter at the dish for the Baycats. Taylor shakes off a couple pitches from Ward, very subtly but noticeably. Gets set and delivers. That one chopped foul.
There's that nice fastball in the high 80s there from Jordan Taylor, which Hall was just a little bit late on. He's now got an 0-2 count. He's got to protect.
Taylor again shaking off signs from Ward. He's obviously got something in mind, as that one's sent on a line to Brando LaRue. Crouches down, makes the grab, and just like that, 2 batters are retired here in the top half of the 4th.
Well, that's just unlucky from Noah Hall, who put a really nice swing on that pitch. Looked like it came in around the top of the zone, and he did a real nice job of getting on top of that baseball, lining it out to the second baseman. Unfortunately, it was right at Brando LaRue, who made the catch.
And a great one at that. That's that one, another fastball down in the dirt as he faces off against Austin Boylan.
And you could hear Taylor there saying, "My bad," to his catcher Ward. That's clearly not where he wanted that fastball. We'll see if he can get his location back here. That one's taken just outside for a ball.
Yeah, trying to paint the corners is Taylor, who across 5 appearances in the season, mostly in mid-relief, 14 innings pitched, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts, but has allowed 8 runs. Maybe looking to improve the stat line tonight. Won't be able to do it if he keeps misplacing his pitches like that, but hey, I got confidence in the kid. He's thrown a mean fastball and already has 2 Baycats retired here. Let's see if he can make it 3. Yeah, that one, another fastball down in the dirt, and you can see him apologizing to Matthew Ward. Really not happy with that pitch, and yeah, he's kind of patting himself on the chest like, yeah, that one's on me, that's my bad.
The catcher, number 29, Andrew Johnston.
Yeah, and that's the truth to it. He just couldn't get control on that fastball for as good as it is. And get at least a strike call there, so a runner aboard with 2 outs here in the visiting half of the 4th.
Here is the catcher for the Baycats, Andrew Johnston, who's had a nice night behind the plate, framing up some pitches and stealing strikes for his Baycats team as he takes a strike on the inside half.
Great job by Ward to corral that one. Had a little break at the end there. Could have been a 2-seamer. But nevertheless, an 0-1 count. That one a slider. Just caught the outside edge. 0-2 already the count on Johnston.
Well, he's got to teach me how to throw that pitch. You see the movement on that thing. Started on the inside half and finished outside. It's 0-2.
Savage stuff from Taylor, and sends that one just a bit high. Much to the dismay of the Royals fans here at Hastings, and the delight of the visiting Baycats fans. They travel very well, those Baycats fans. Plenty of support, cheering all night long, and you love to see it. As Taylor gets set, delivers the 1-2. That one chopped over to Morrow at short. He's going to take the force out at second, and that will retire the side. So, as has become a recurring theme throughout this game, for both the Baycats and the Royals, runners are left on base. Jaden, what do you think these two teams need to do to halt that skid?
Well, it comes down to better at-bats, and these hitters are getting down in the count a lot early in this game. Lots of 0-2, 1-2 counts we've seen early on here. They just need to work those counts some more, get them in their favor. You know, maybe take a couple more pitches early on in the at-bat. Obviously, you don't want to be taking something close with 2 strikes. But early in those at-bats, you want to be patient. You want to try to get yourself into a hitter's count. Because once you go down 0-2, that is the most difficult count for a hitter to hit in across all of baseball. You hear it all the time in Major League Baseball. 0-2 is by far the most difficult count to hit in, unless your name is Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays. But if you're not, you're going to have a real tough time hitting in an 0-2 count. And your odds slightly increase with every ball that you take. So ultimately it comes down to better at-bats and not letting these pitchers get ahead of you. It's been a really nice pitchers duel so far between the Baycats with Ethan Morris and the Royals with first Edgar Garcia and now Jordan Taylor. I would love to see some more offense though from these teams, like we saw on Sunday with the Guelph Royals, who beat the Kitchener Panthers by a score of, get this, 22-7. And speaking of that game's big performers, coming up here for the Royals in the bottom of the 4th inning is Garrett Takamatsu. On Sunday, Takamatsu went 4 for 6 with 8 RBIs, 2 home runs, 3 runs scored. Just an all-time offensive performance from Takamatsu, who was playing third base in that game. Tonight, he's over on the other side of the diamond at first base for the Royals.
The first baseman, number 4, Garrett Takamatsu.
Well, if Morris thinks he can get away with another clean inning, Takamatsu is looking to prove him wrong. As he steps in, yeah, coming off the back of such an impressive offensive outing, you gotta believe that momentum is on Tak's side as he faces off against Morris for the second time tonight. That one sent sailing past Johnston. He didn't even make an attempt at that one, and yeah, the Royals fans letting him hear it. A wry smile on Morris's face. Yeah, fans definitely letting him have it. As he gets set and delivers the 1-0 outside again. Johnson able to get to it in time this time.
And this is not a good sign early on from Ethan Morris. I know he's only thrown 2 pitches in this inning, but he missed by quite a bit with both of them. And Takamatsu, I'm sure, is wanting something in the strike zone. He wants something to hit.
Well, he is not going to get it on that pitch. Outside again. Morris, whether accidental or otherwise, is playing this one safe. Lots of fastballs and plenty of them, 3 of them, to the outside in quick succession. See if he can rein things in here with the 3-0. That one sent high, and without having to take a hack at anything, Takamatsu is aboard. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 4th. So with Taka aboard, that is going to bring up Andy Leader, the 3-time All-Star, looking to put the Royals on the board here, now with a runner aboard. Leader was a big get for the Royals last season, part of why they went on such a fantastic Cinderella run, bringing the fight to these very same Baycats in the finals of the Dominico Cup. It's the first pitch to Leader, just catches the strike zone, a fastball, 0-1 the count.
Leader is 26 years old from Kitchener. Last year in the IBL hit .250 over 112 ABs with 2 home runs, 14 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases.
That one a ball down towards the dirt, 1-1 the count. Morris getting a few words of encouragement from Johnston, and that's what you love to see. Despite Morris being on the younger side, still learning, still adapting, even while he's right up there on the mound pitching. That one, despite Johnston's best efforts, not framed up as a strike, 2-1 the count. And that's something both Johnston and Ward have done quite successfully so far in this game. That's framing up pitches, a la the aforementioned Alejandro Kirk.
One of the best in baseball, Kirk is, and you wonder if these guys are taking a page out of his book. There's a nice block by the catcher Johnston at that pitch in the dirt. It's now 3-1, and just as Morris looked to be dialing in on the strike zone early in this at-bat, now he's down 3-1 in another count. Andy Leader with the infield playing straight up, looking to get something through.
He's going to chop that one foul. I don't mind taking a hack at a 3-1. It's a hitter's count. Might as well go for it, especially with no outs here in the fourth.
Yeah, and like we talked about, those are the counts that you want to be getting in if you're the Royals. That's a good swing from Leader. I don't mind that one bit. But now he's got a battle with 2 strikes.
Morris checks in on the runner, delivers the pay-off pitch. That one slapped on the ground through that third short hole. Leader will pick up a single and advances the runner up to second. So now, still no outs in the inning. And the white-hot Jordan Gallo stepping up, and it looks like we'll be getting a mound visit here.
Jordan Gallo.
Yeah, a mound visit in this situation is absolutely necessary for a young Ethan Morris who has been struggling with his command here in the 4th inning and just gave up a weak base hit, you know, a ground ball through the left side. You kind of wish that the fielders were positioned in a better spot there, but a nice piece of hitting by Leader to get that one through. The Royals are now threatening with runners on first and second with no outs. And the hitter is going to be third baseman Jordan Gallo, who, with runners on first and second, could he be looking to drop a bunt down, Josh?
I wouldn't be surprised. Talk has got some elusive speed, and Leader, we've already talked about how amazing his wheels are. It wouldn't surprise me, and I think the Baycats are thinking the same thing. Both Hull and Boylan are playing on the infield grass. Short and second, playing closer to the outfield grass. Still looking to prevent that bunt, and he shows signs. Draws the bat back in time, 1-0 the count.
And right on cue, the bunt attempt from Jordan Gallo pulls back in time to take a ball.
Gets set, shows again. That one chopped right back towards the mound. Morris is going to flip it onto first for the easy out, but the job gets done. Doesn't matter how it gets done, but Gallo gets it done nonetheless. He is retired, but he advances Talk and Leader up to third and second respectively. That is just a fundamental textbook good baseball play, Jaden.
Absolutely. That just made baseball coaches everywhere super proud of what they just saw. Jordan Gallo with a really nice sacrifice bunt to get those runners over. He did his job. Now it's time for Brando LaRue to do his.
Morris gets set. That one, a fastball again high. 1-0 the count. LaRue coming off an all-star season last year. This season hasn't quite picked up where he left off. 167 batting average entering tonight's contest, though he does have 2 ribeyes and 3 runs scored. Would love to make it 3 or 4 RBIs on the season as he lets that one sail past him. 2-0 the count.
The infield is drawn well in here for the Baycats, but the pitcher Morris hasn't given LaRue anything to hit yet, as there's a high fastball probably up and out of the zone, but LaRue takes a hack. You wonder if the Baycats are trying to pitch around LaRue, perhaps get further down to the bottom of the order, with the 8 and 9 hitters scheduled to come up. They do have an open base over at first, but now with the 2-2 count on LaRue, they're not going to be pitching around him anymore. They got to attack this guy right here.
Yeah, Morris undoubtedly looking to go for the coup de grace here. Finish off LaRue while he can. Infielders still playing on that infield grass. As the 2-2 is delivered and LaRue takes a big hack at that one. Johnson and Morris pretty psyched about that punch out. And that's big if you're the Baycats. Picking up a strikeout like that, retiring a fairly dangerous hitter in LaRue in a dangerous situation, but, you know, it's a rock and a hard place. You go from LaRue to arguably the better batter in Ethan Hammond. Hammond, 234 entering tonight's contest, 11 hits, 2 of those are doubles, not to mention 8 RBIs. And now the infielders playing standard, but a big hole right up the middle as that one's going to get away from Johnson. Takamatsu will make it in safely. Make it 1-0 as that wild pitch from Morris goes well wide. Tried for the corner and missed. And he pays the price for his gamble.
Well, we have seen that multiple times in this game already from Morris, both in warm-ups and while the ball is live. You gotta wonder if it's maybe something with the mound that he doesn't like, but no other pitchers have had this issue. I think this is just maybe a mental thing for Morris right now.
Yeah,
he just needs to be confident in himself, get those jitters out of the way. He's got 2 outs here. Needs to get out of this inning.
Look to do that as he sends that one inside wild again and make it back-to-back wild pitches. And, yeah, I think that's going to be the end of Morris's night.
Well, you hate to see that.
Yeah, not like this.
He's a really young pitcher, really promising arm. He's got great stuff, a great arsenal. Just something was off tonight. He managed to get through 3 innings scoreless. He pitched pretty well aside from the few wild pitches, but those wild pitches at the end cost him 2 in a row to let the Royals get up 2-0 as we have a new pitcher coming in for the Baycats.
Well, with this call to the mound, we are going to step away for a second. We'll be back in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. This is Guelph Royals TV. Well, we are back. New pitcher on the mound for the Barrie Baycats after Morris's night goes awry here in the 4th inning. Had a nice 69 pitches, 2 strikeouts, but did allow 2 runs on back-to-back wild pitches. Definitely a mentality thing, but still plenty to learn from for the youngster. Well, that is going to turn things over to Braden Pacala, 21 years old, the lefty. Already in a 2-2 count against Hammond. And gets him swinging to end the inning. The call to the bullpen working wonders for the Baycats. Just a small sample size, but something to watch out for as this one progresses. And just like that, we are through 4. Your Royals now in the lead, 2-0 as we head to the 5th inning. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's your Guelph Royals taking on the visiting Barrie Baycats in a rematch of last year's Dominico Cup Finals. Your Royals currently leading 2-0 here on a very heated, in more ways than one night, in the Royal City. Josh Alderman, Jaden Prasad on the call. Jordan Taylor still on the mound, and Alex Wickett leading things off for the visitors. First pitch to Wickett, a fastball down low. 1-0 the count.
And Josh, the sun is just about to set, and this has turned into a really nice night out here in Guelph.
Yeah, thankfully the humidity starting to drop off, still with humidity up towards mid-high 30s. So don't let that 26 degrees deceive you. It is still a scorcher here in the Royal City. But these two teams, regardless of the weather, looking to crank up the heat. The Royals certainly have. Currently leading 2-0 thanks to back-to-back wild pitches from Morris. Leader in Takamatsu coming in to score. And now Taylor looking to prevent any Baycats runners from doing the same as he sends that one sailing outside. 3-1 the count.
Now here is a hitter's count for the second baseman, Alex Wickett, looking to take advantage. Big hole up the middle on the infield.
That one's chopped towards left center field. Patterson and Williams both chasing after it. Narrowly avoid a collision. And it is the Roadrunner Patterson making the catch. And you can see those two guys out there in left center field checking up on each other. JD jumping out of the way just, and I mean just in time. Narrowly avoiding a big collision there. Malfunction at the junction, if you will.
Yeah, the Royals are lucky to have those two speedsters out in the outfield, but obviously at times that can create a little bit of confusion. But as always, communication is key And it looks like it was Patterson that just took the lead on that one right towards the end, as that one is fouled off by the leadoff hitter, Brandon Hernandez, the former Major League farmhand, I should say. The 24-year-old hails from Montreal, Quebec. Last year in 85 at-bats, hit .353, 14 RBIs, 3 stolen bases.
Sends that one sailing past the beer garden here at Hastings. Stays alive in the 0-2 count. And I would like to say, shout out to the live stream chat here. Been doing some great work all night. Tammy, Colin, VD. Keep it up. Keep it civil, but have some fun. The 0-2 from Taylor. That one just a bit low. Taylor looks like he was trying to get Hernandez swinging there, but Hernandez, tenured pro, he knows his stuff, has got plenty of great vision at that plate. Taylor right back at it, wasting little time, and again, another chase pitch. Evens the count up at 2-2. Yeah, Taylor, after back-to-back well-placed pitches, or 3 back-to-back, I should say, now 2 chase-type pitches, one in the dirt and one outside this time. No doubt about it, Jordan Taylor, he is heating up, strikes out one of the biggest bats in the IBL in Brandon Hernandez.
That's a really nice pitch there from Jordan Taylor right on the inside. Hernandez knew it. The home plate umpire certainly knew it with that emphatic strike 3 call. As for the Royals, Kyle Thomas is warming up in the left field bullpen, but we certainly won't be seeing him this inning as Taylor has 2 quick outs.
I would not make the call to the bullpen this early. Dare I say, I'd even let Taylor go another inning, at least half an inning. The youngster is certainly heating up there at the mound as he delivers the 1-0. Now becomes a 2-0. That pitch, a fastball again, just outside. Facing off against Clayton Keys, who had a phenomenal highlight reel grab out in center field just a matter of innings ago. Looking to follow it up with overpowering offensive display here, but lets that one sail by. 2-1 the count. Royals maintaining a regular defensive setup, but still leaving a massive hole in the middle of the field as that one's chopped foul, bringing things to 2-2. Yeah, the Royals don't exactly shift. They keep things pretty straight up for practically every batter, Jaden.
Yeah, the center fielder is shaded a little bit to the pole side, who really is the only player that is in somewhat of a shift. The 2-2 from Taylor is high, and here's a full count now on Clayton Keys, the very new signing, we are told, of the Barrie Baycats, looking to get something going with 2 outs.
The payoff pitch pays off for Jordan Taylor, picks up his 2nd K of the inning. If that's not a boost of confidence, I don't know what is, as the Baycats go down in order here in the top of the 5th inning. Dominant stuff from Jordan Taylor.
That is precisely what I was about to say, just absolute domination in that inning from Jordan Taylor. And he wasn't just facing any old batters. He had the 9, 1, and 2 hitters for this in the Baycats lineup. The second baseman, Wicket, the shortstop, Hernandez, and the center fielder, Keys. And quickly back out there on the mound for the Baycats is the southpaw, Braden Pacala, who got out of the last inning so quickly that we weren't even able to talk about him. But Pacala, 21 years old, hailing from Sudbury, Ontario, another Sudbury native in this Baycats team. We saw Ethan Morris early on, also from Sudbury. Pacala stands at 6'2", weighs 190 pounds. Just the ideal pitcher. He made very, very quick work of the one batter that he faced in the previous inning.
Yeah, ended up punching out Ethan Hammond. Big strikeout to end the inning after Morris let 2 in off of wild pitches. Pacala entering tonight's contest, a 3.60 ERA across 3 games played. He has 5 innings pitched, has allowed just 1 walk, and now his season total for K's stands at 6. Coming off a less than stellar regular season with these Baycats last year, an 8.34 ERA, 2 losses to his name across 12 games played, had 18 innings pitched, struck out 16, but let in many more than he prevented.
Pacala just looking to find his footing here in the IBL. He's only pitched for 2 seasons. Last year got into 12 games and even started one for the Baycats. Pitched just 18 innings though in total. This inning, like you said, 5 innings so far to his name, as he will be facing Ashton Patterson leading things off for the Royals, and then right back up to the top for J.D. Williams and Connor Morrow, going to get their 3rd at-bats of the night here.
Patterson shows bunt on that first pitch. 0-1 now the count. Yeah, drew the bat back just in time, but didn't even have it placed to make contact anyways. Pacala painting the corners. Looks to do so again, but that fastball goes wide. 1-1 now the count.
Patterson batting from the left side of the plate, stands at 5'8", weighing in at 160 pounds from Kitchener, Ontario. Bats left and throws right. Takes that one for a strike just on the corner. He thought that was down and out, but the home plate umpire did not think so.
Yeah, so did the Royals Kingdom. A couple of jeers for that call, but it stands nonetheless as that one's chopped into left field. That is going to hit outfield grass. Patterson's going for 2. Will he make it? Yes, he will. Ashton Patterson, a stand-up double to kick off the home half of the 5th. He's called the Road Runner for a reason, folks. Such amazing, astounding athleticism and agility from the youngster.
And just a great piece of hitting there. He was not happy with that second strike call. It looked to be outside. And what did he do with the next pitch that was outside? He dropped it in opposite field, just like you're supposed to do. And with that speed, was able to round first and get into second with a stand-up double. And the Royals are threatening already here with the leadoff hitter Williams in the box and a runner at second base with no outs.
And now a more than cheeky chant of "We want Morris" coming from the Royals fans. Definitely want to see more of the Baycats starting pitcher, who was taken out of the game last inning. As that pitch, check swinged by JD, will go for a ball. Baycats fans, now it's their turn to be disappointed in a call. But it stands nonetheless. 1-1 the count. JD hasn't gotten much going in this game. Retired in his last 2 at-bats. Lets that one sail by. 2-1 the count. Like many other hitters on this Royals roster, such tremendous vision at the plate. Just 26 years old, but sees the game like a tenured vet.
And taking a couple of close pitches there for balls. It's 2-1 on Williams.
That one chopped on the ground, picked up by Hernandez. He's going to flip it on to first, but mission completion. Ashton Patterson moves up to third.
And a nice piece of base running there by Ashton Patterson. Williams likely trying to get that ball over to the right side of the infield, where Patterson surely would have been able to advance. But with that ground ball to short, it's a little bit less of a sure thing that that runner will be able to advance. Thanks to Patterson and his speed, he was off on contact and made a very nice decision to go to third base.
So Braden Pacala now facing 1 out and a runner on third, and now the ever dangerous Connor Morrow up at the dish. That one sails in for a strike. Looked like a curveball to me. Gets the call he was looking for. 0-1 the count.
A nice frame job there by the catcher Johnston, bringing that pitch back over the plate. Infield drawn way in for the Baycats.
That one is skied high. Hernandez is calling for it all the way. Makes the grab. Morrow didn't even get to first before the play was completed.
And I'm sure Morrow is a little disappointed in himself there. That it's not what you want to do. Williams did his job. He advanced the men from second to third. Morrow's job was to get him home, at least get that fly ball to the outfield. And while he did get under it, it was a pop-up right back, just back of the pitcher's mound. As here's the 3-hitter Matthew Ward with 2 outs.
Bakula delivers fastball that just caught the lower half of the zone. 0-1 the count. Ward, just 23 years of age. Mississauga native, plays for Niagara University. Looking to put some of that college experience into practice here. I think I messed up that phrase, but you get what I mean. He's got plenty of baseball experience, and in such a situation like this, Royals leading by 2. Not a healthy lead, but not one where the Baycats are threatening just yet. Looking to add on here as he takes that one well inside, jumping out of the way at the last second to avoid contact.
Well, Ward would certainly love to add to the Royals' tally here. It's just a 2-0 game with no RBIs from the Royals, as both runs came on wild pitches from the starter Ethan Morris. That one is a ground ball up the middle. Second baseman ranging to his right, makes the play onto first. What a play by the second baseman, Alex Wickett, to get the Baycats out of the inning. Josh, what did you think of that?
That's just routine baseball, Jaden. Wickett made the play to his right. It was simple, it was effective, and it wasn't enough contact from Ward. Definitely put bat to ball, but it was weak contact. Didn't make the most of it, and that has been a recurring theme for the Royals. They haven't been able to make the most of their big moments. Will the Baycats be able to? Well, you will just have to wait and see as we carry on to the 6th inning of play. This is Royals TV. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. Josh Alderman, Jaden Prasad on the call here. Your Guelph Royals leading 2-0, up big early on the visiting Barrie Baycats. Up to bat for the Baycats in the inning will be the heart of the order. Mackie Broda, Willie Garcia, and Tristan Clark. All great hitters in their own right. But speaking of great, Jordan Taylor has been having, such a wonderful night on the mound. Really great for the youngster to come out, have this dominant showing. Of course, capping off last inning with back-to-back Ks of Brandon Hernandez and Clayton Keys. That one's skied high, but foul. 0-2 now the count.
A couple of outside fastballs from Jordan Taylor. The first one, Macabroda did not like the call, but He's got to adjust to that strike zone, and that he did, sending that one foul off to the left side. But it's quickly 0-2 on the designated hitter. Macabroda, 25 years old from Saskatoon. A great hitter, which is why he's in the 3 spot for Barrie.
And that one, a mean slider as the day is long. Picks up another K. Make that 3 in a row across the last 2 innings. Taylor is starting to heat up, Jaden.
He certainly is, and he might be getting a little bit of help from the home plate umpire, as a couple of calls went his way there. They both looked to be maybe an inch or 2 outside, might have nicked the corner. It's hard to tell, but Nolan Macabroda certainly did not like them. Here is the 4-hitter, Willie Garcia. Takes one right down Broadway for a strike.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call it help. I mean, there's a reason we're up here and the umpires are down there calling the balls and strikes. They do a tremendous job, and Taylor has been really painting the corners. A lot of toss-up calls that, yes, have gone his way, but credit where credit is due. He is putting in the work and making sure that those pitches are convincing enough. It's a 1-1 count on Willie Garcia, former major leaguer. As Taylor gets set and delivers down low, another fastball. 2-1 now the count. Garcia, despite his impressive pedigree and big-time experience, hasn't been able to deliver yet for the Baycats in this game or in this season, as that one comes dangerously close to nicking him on the knees. 3-1 now the count.
And you've got to credit Matthew Ward as well behind the plate, helping Taylor get those close calls. He's been having himself a nice night back there, as the 3-1 is skied off to the right side. 3 fielders converging. Nobody is going to get there as the ball lands a few feet foul. Another life for Willie Garcia.
Yeah, that kind of play is what Mark Perry would call the Bermuda Triangle. 3 defenders all running for the same ball, but none of them able to get to it in time. Thankfully for the Royals, that one did drop foul. Plenty of Royals fans breathing a hefty sigh of relief after that one. Garcia put plenty of pop into that one. Was carrying pretty far back and would have dropped for a single, if not a double, had it made contact in the field of play, but alas, 'twas not to be. 3-2. And just another beautiful slider from Taylor. Gets a batter swinging. Make it 4 in a row for the youngster. He is just having himself quite the night.
Well, you talk about executing pitches, and Jordan Taylor is doing that to the T. Great pitch there. Maybe down and out of the strike zone. We can't tell from up here, but Willie Garcia, again, did not take too convincing of a hack at it. And that, I believe, is his 2nd strikeout of the night. Garcia, I should say. And he has not been enjoying himself. The first one came against his countrymate Edgar Garcia. This one against the 18-year-old Jordan Taylor, who is wheeling and dealing.
Gets set for the 0-1. Another slider down low, though. 1-1 the count. We have seen Kyle Thomas up and pacing around the bullpen a couple times. Was throwing earlier when it looked like Taylor was in trouble, but he is just kind of standing around and watching this one go by as that one's drifting back. Patterson at the wall. That is out of here. A master class in power from Tristan Clark. Absolutely mashes that fastball to deep left field, and you are not seeing that one anytime soon. Call it a souvenir for the fans a couple streets back outside of Hastings. And now this game is a 2-1 contest.
Well, you knew that one was gone off the bat. The crack of that bat, something we haven't heard yet tonight, but that one had a surge put into it by the Brampton native, Tristan Clark, 29 years old. Clark had a very nice college career, over 407 at-bats, which generally sounds like close to 100 or so games. Clark hit .287 with an OBP of .365, 22 home runs, and 90 RBIs. So the power is certainly there for Tristan Clark, which we just saw again, as that one is pulled foul.
Yeah, needless to say, a monster mash from the former Nationals draft pick, picking up his 4th homer of the season and 10th ribeye of the year. As we return to previously scheduled programming, Jordan Taylor now with a 1-2 count, becoming a 2-2 count with that fastball that becomes a ball. Inside on Noah Hull. Taylor has had such an impressive night on the mound, looking to keep things rolling here. That one, a dubious call. Not that the Royals will complain at all. Make it 5 Ks on the night for Jordan Taylor. He gives up the blast, though. I mean, just a monster moonshot from Tristan Clark. I mean, really, what more needs to be said? That was just absurd. Got all of that fastball, and I mean, if he keeps playing like that, he may very well move the Baycats up the league standings, which we will now take a look at. Of course, the Welland Jackfish leading the way at 12-4. Not far behind them are the surging London Majors, currently on a 2-game win streak and just 0.5 games back, followed by Chatham Kent, the Maple Leafs, the Cardinals, and then we get to the nitty-gritty. The Barrie Baycats 7-8 entering tonight's contest on a 2-game losing skid, and your Guelph Royals sitting in the 7th spot, 8-9 on the season. 2-game win streak, of course. And then Kitchener Panthers and definitely the Brantford Red Sox rounding out the bottom of the league. And that's how things shake out in your IBL league standings. Really, really great stuff from Jordan Taylor, of course, disrupted by that blast from Tristan Clark. I mean, we're running out of adjectives and superlatives for it. That was a screamer right out of left field, exiting the park entirely. Yeah, not just the field of play, falls into the bullpen. No, that is out of the park and into the park right behind Hastings Field. Your Royals are still in the lead, though, thanks to those 2 errant wild pitches from Morris. Takamatsu and Leader coming in as the scoring runs. And speak of the devil, Garrett Takamatsu will be leading things off here in the bottom of the 6th inning for your Guelph Royals. Facing off against Pakala.
And you talk about powerful hitters. Well, here's one right now. First baseman Garrett Takamatsu hit 2 home runs in Sunday's blowout of the Panthers. He's going to take a strike for the first pitch of the inning. And I'm sure Takamatsu would love to get that run back for his Royals with a homer of his own.
We'll see if that prediction comes to fruition, as Takamatsu was certainly taking a home run worthy hack at that one. But he finds nothing but air. 0-2 now the count.
Takamatsu with a big swing there. He's got to cut down that swing with 2 strikes. Needs to get on base here and potentially extend this lead for the Royals.
See if he can do that. A fastball that sails high. 1-2 the count. Fans from both sides showing their support and disdain for the umpire's call, respectively. As Takamatsu takes another big hack, obviously looking for a homer of his own, but finds nothing of the kind. Another strikeout for Pakala. And already an out here in the bottom of the 6th. That is going to bring up the right fielder, 3-time All-Star Andy Leader. Looking to keep the good times rolling for the Royals. And it's definitely got to help their mental momentum when Jordan Taylor goes out, puts out a performance like that. Edgar Garcia leading the night off, having the performance that he had. Got to be a big confidence booster, and the Royals looking to pay back that kindness as Leader sends that one up, and away, but it is going to be tracked down by Garcia out there in right field. Almost had a Bermuda Triangle situation. You had Wicket, Hull, and Garcia all going for it at the same time. Garcia hitting the nos, finding that extra gear, able to get to it just in time. So back-to-back batters retired for Pakala here in the bottom of the sixth. That is going to bring up the red-hot Jordan Gallo. Pakala wasting little time, pounds the strike zone, or at least attempts to with that fastball, but the call does not go his way. 1-0 the count.
Gallo so far this season only has 13 at-bats, but 5 hits in those 13 as he chops one high to second base. It's an easy play for the second baseman, Alex Wicket, to end the inning. Josh?
3 up, 3 down, go the Royals. And it looks like we will be getting a new pitcher on the way to the mound. Who can it be now? Stay tuned to find out. You are watching Royals TV.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back, folks, to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's now 2-1 for your Guelph Royals. Of course, that one run for the Baycats coming off that monster mash from Tristan Clark. So to help settle things down on the mound, it is the one, the only, Kyle Thomas making his first appearance of the season.
Kyle Thomas is the 30-year-old from Mississauga, Ontario, standing at 6'3", weighing in at 210 pounds. Thomas had himself a really nice season last year, Josh, with the Royals. A 3-1 record, 2.45 ERA over 33 innings pitched. Those 33 innings came over 9 games, 5 starts. He had 36 strikeouts, so just over a strikeout per inning, just 7 walks, and 26 hits. What more do you have to say about Thomas?
Well, the former Tigers farmhand is a familiar face for more than a few of these Baycats. Of course, pitching in Game 4, the final game of last year's Dominico Cup Finals. Pitched 3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 3 earned runs, but also struck out 5. Definitely looking for a little bit of revenge here tonight at Hastings. Gets set, delivers his first pitch of the season. That one gets fouled back by Boylan.
And Thomas got the job done in last year's postseason. Pitched 18.1 innings, 4 games, 3 of those were starts. 5.40 ERA, 19 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 21 hits as that one is grounded in the hole at short. Nice play by Morrow. The throw on to first. Got him! What an outstanding play there by Connor Morrow, who has already flashed the leather today. Just amazing. Josh, what do you have to say about that one?
Connor Morrow seemingly a game of one-upping himself. That is just another dazzling defensive display from the youngster, and something you absolutely love to see, given his hitting struggles so far in this season. More than making up for it on the defense's side of the game. Big play from Morrow. Kyle Thomas tipping his hat in appreciation afterwards. As his first pitch to Johnston. Fastball called a strike, 0-1 the count.
Well, Morrow certainly doing it on the defensive side of things, looking to get things going on the offensive side as well, but for now, what a play right there. Huge play to keep the Royals in check in this game. Morrow, the 28-year-old from Cheltenham. Last year in the playoffs, hit extremely well, 385 average. Maybe a little boost of confidence right there.
Yeah, especially with him batting .067 early on in this season, but more on him later as LaRue is going to flip that one over to Takamatsu on first. Just like that, 2 up, 2 down, and that bat flying out of the hands of Johnston, or
all the bats snapped
yeah,
in 2 pieces.
The upper half of the bat.
Another one for the fire pit. I believe that is 2 today.
Yeah, I believe so. Baycats will be having a nice campfire after this one.
Might be a little hot for that.
Never too hot for a good campfire. But I digress. Already 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Thomas waiting for the sign. Gets one and delivers. That one chopped on the ground. No trouble at all for Gallo as he flips on to Takamatsu, and 3 up, 3 down go the Baycats. Kyle Thomas, maybe the secret weapon for the Royals if this small sample size is any indicator.
Well, the Royals just have a ton of depth down there in that bullpen. So many different arms with a variety of different looks that Dino Ramel could go to. He started out with Edgar Garcia, the fireballer, then went to the 18-year-old Jordan Taylor. So he went from the former major leaguer to the recent high school graduate, and now it's Kyle Thomas, the 30-year-old from Mississauga, who had an excellent season last year, so he's no secret to the rest of the IBL, but just a great inning with some good defense as well to keep the momentum going for the Royals.
And speaking of momentum, looking to continue his is Braden Pakala. He has been dominant on the mound coming in for relief of Morris. Some really great pitches. We've seen a 4-seamer, a 2-seamer, and a fairly mean slider as well as he gets settled in on the mound. Kind of shaking out the nerves, getting loose. Tossing a few warm-up pitches. Some of them that, I mean, over the last 30 seconds or so have drifted further and further wide. So it looks like he's trying to make sure his control stays the same.
He certainly does, as he has had a really nice outing in relief for the Baycats here tonight. I believe this is his 3rd inning of work, Josh. Does that sound right?
That sounds about right to me.
Yeah, and he will look to continue it here against the Royals, who are sending up to the plate. Number 5.
Yep, that is Brando LaRue.
Yep, 21 years old from Markham. Looking to get the fans even more engaged here with that walk-up song of his. Last year, LaRue hit for a .291 average, over 110 ABs, 14 RBIs, and 11 steals. So certainly a speedster out there. He's already flashed a leather today at second base. Looking to get something started here for the Royals. Pops that one up. The catcher throws off his mask. The first baseman And that one is a fair ball. Josh, what do you have to say there?
Johnston lost it in the lights. I mean, it doesn't get much more simple as an explanation. Yeah, he's still glancing up. He's got protective glasses on, but no shades. I mean, as far as lights go, they don't get too much brighter than here at Hastings, illuminating every nook and cranny of the field. And yeah, Johnston, to his credit, was searching, looking for it the whole time. Even tried to barehand it when he finally caught sight of it, but it was too little, too late. So now a runner on board, no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Of course, Pakala guaranteed to face the latter third of the Royals' batting order. Now the 8-hole hitter, DH Ethan Hammond.
And that is just a really tough play for the catcher to make. The ball is always going to spin back towards the field of play, as that one is just up. But one thing I've never really agreed with, Josh, is not having the pitcher come and take charge of that. I know he is falling down the mound, but honestly, the pitcher had a much better chance of catching that ball than the catcher did. Even the first baseman, who I guess just could not get there in time. The catcher, Johnston, seemed to call for it, but was a little bit duped by the spin on that ball. I guess not anticipating it to come so far back into the field of play.
That pitch called a strike, 3-1 the count. Yeah, Johnson, for all his great glove work throughout regular play, just couldn't catch up to that one there. And the Baycats may very well pay the price if the Royals stay hot. That bunt attempt rolls foul, so now a full count for Ethan Hammond.
A really nice bunt attempt there from Hammond. Got it right on the third base line, but that ball just went a little bit foul. Now with 2 strikes, Hammond will certainly be swinging away. He's looking for a base hit or ball 4 to keep the momentum alive for the Royals.
Either will do the trick. They attempt the pickoff. LaRue caught in no man's land. Hernandez flips it on to Hall, and LaRue ducks and dives, but it was all for naught. Excellent pickoff there from Pakala. Eyes in the back of his head, able to flip around on a dime, make that toss, and LaRue looked like he was going to try and steal anyways. Just caught up in the middle.
Yeah, that's something that the Baycats can anticipate there with that full count.
As that one sent sailing into left field, no trouble at all for Clark. Reins that one in, and what could have and should have advanced LaRue up to second base ends up as, well, no runners on base and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And that is something that the Royals, despite their lead in tonight's game, have had issues with so far, is making the most of their moments. I mean, Baycats' pitching staff is phenomenal, no doubt, but it's also on the Royals to be able to pick up on those pitches that may be coming their way that might play well for them as Patterson drops down the bunt. That one is... oh, just foul. We could see that one going up the third baseline, continuing to keep on rolling, but narrowly misses the bag.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Royals have certainly been practicing their bunt attempts, as a couple of those in this inning alone have gone right down the third baseline. That was maybe a few inches foul in the end, but that was close to being one of the better bunts you'll ever see. Unfortunately, didn't spin his way, as that one is spiked in the dirt.
No doubt about it. Yeah, that pitch outside, 1-1 now the count.
And that is certainly something you want the bottom of your order to be able to do, is to bunt their way either on base or bunt for a sacrifice. Obviously, Patterson was bunting for a single as he grounds one to short. Hard throw on to first, gets him by a step to end the inning.
3, not necessarily 3 up, 3 down, but in a way, it is. Pakla runs the clean inning, but your Royals are still in the lead. Kyle Thomas and the defense looking to shut down the Baycats as we head to the 8th inning. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Barrie Baycats Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
It's the top of the 8th inning here at David E. Hastings Stadium. Josh Alderman, Jaden Prasad on the call. Your Royals are leading 2-1 up against the visiting Barrie Baycats, the reigning and defending 2024 Dominico Cup champs. Of course, we'd like to give a quick thank you to all of our chatters tonight. Of course, everyone keeping busy, Colin, VD, Tammy, and of course, the one and only Neil Shrivastava. Keep up the great work. Hernandez keeps up the great work. His great night continuing as he's going to pick up a first pitch single to lead off the 8th inning.
Well, Hernandez is an always dangerous hitter. Last year in 85 at-bats, hit .353. But I'd like to point out the phenomenal job by the left fielder, Ashton Patterson, getting over, cutting off that ball before it could get any further, holding Hernandez to a long single. If that ball had gotten any further, Hernandez surely would have been standing on second base. That would have not been a good situation for the Royals. Great job by Patterson.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that one sent spiraling back. Andy Leader puts up his glove, isn't able to get to it in time. That drops down. He's lost it in the grass. Hernandez is going to be held at third, but it is a stand-up double for Clayton Keys.
And this just got a whole lot more interesting. The first two reach here for the Barrie Baycats, second and third with nobody out. And they have got the 3-hitter coming up. Designated hitter Nolan Makibroda.
Yeah, obviously Kyle Thomas in no spotted danger just yet, but we have seen Connor King and Brandon Deans up walking around the Royals bullpen. Yeah, I really doubt Kyle Thomas is in any danger of being pulled just yet.
The designated hitter, number 20.
He has been very solid tonight. Has been for many years as a Royal.
And it's not like it's a command issue here.
No, not at all.
The Baycats have just put a couple of real good swings on the baseball, and here comes a coach from the Royals dugout coming to have a visit.
Yeah, that is Dino Ramel. Something might be up with Kyle Thomas. Yeah, he's not being pulled from the game, just a routine meeting. Just looking to check up. Obviously, still no outs here in the top of the 8th inning, and a very dangerous heart of the order coming up. Makibroda, Garcia, Willie Garcia, who hasn't been able to get much done, but still has that major league experience behind him. and the man of the hour, Tristan Clark. All waiting in the wings. Obviously, very dangerous Baycats lineup top to bottom. Plenty of players that experienced last season's championship win right here on the Royals' home grass.
And Mackie Broda is just about the last person you want to be facing if you're the Royals. You certainly don't want to have to bring your infield in, but that's what they've done. They're going to try to cut down this runner at the plate should he go.
Kyle Thomas delivers that one smacked into the outfield. And that is going to be a 2-run single for Nolan Macabroda. You said it yourself, partner. A dangerous hitter, someone you don't want to see if you're a Royals fan. Well, ask and you shall receive. Macabroda really coming up big for the Baycats there with that 2-run single. And that puts the reigning and defending champs in the lead. 3-2 now the score. This one coming down to the wire, as we knew it would. Thomas getting set. And delivers that one.
It's not,
drops in.
it's not Garcia.
77.
We have seems to be a pinch hitter here for Willie Garcia. However, we do not have a name just yet. But whoever he is, takes a big swing at that one. Foul tips it back into the mitt of Ward. Yeah, I'm not sure who that is down there, but he is looking to extend this Baycats lead.
Yes, Neil, you got it right. Nolan Macabroda coming up clutch. The back of the jersey does say Owen, number 77. Now, believe it or not, he is not listed in our lineup card tonight as an eligible batter, which, hey, could just be human error as a big swing and a miss there. Could be a misplaced jersey even. Regardless of who it is, he's heading back to the dugout. Big swing and a miss there as Kyle Thomas picks up the K.
Well, that was Zachary Owen who just struck out, the right-handed batter, number 77. I do not believe he was on our lineup card, but either way, he just struck out. So that's that. The batter coming up is Tristan Clark, who recently hit that monster shot out to left center field. He'll look to do it again.
Absolute moonshot, and Kyle Thomas looking to play it safe. Not repeat the same mistakes of Taylor, who left a fastball right out over the heart of the plate for Clark to send screaming out of Hastings Park.
Tristan Clark has tons of power in that bat. Over his college career, hit 22 bombs over 407 at-bats. We saw the power on display earlier today. He's looking to get the Baycats even further out in front. He's going to foul that one off. Catcher was not able to hold on to it.
Yeah, that one gets loose, but Macabroda not going to threaten with a steal. Hanging around, chatting up Takamatsu and the first base umpire. Keeping things friendly, even in a tight competitive game here. You love to see it. 1-1 the count, 1 out, and a runner at first. Clark getting settled in now. Thomas shakes off a few signs. Very subtly, indicating that he has a pitch in mind. Runner will go. Ward with the throw over to LaRue. Right on time. It's one thing for us to talk about the cannon of an arm that Ward has. It's another thing for you to see it firsthand. Macabroda caught stealing. And already 2 outs on the board here.
I'm going to need someone to go back and clip that because that is just about as perfect of a throw that you'll see from a catcher to second base. Right on the money. First base side of the bag. Right there for the tag to be made.
And that one's going to take a little Hastings hop, hit the outfield grass. So now Clark on board with a single.
And Clark with a couple of hard hit balls today. That one a screamer. Out there into left field.
First baseman, number 28,
Here comes the first
Noah
baseman, Noah Hall for the Baycats. 2 outs here for them. Looking to extend this 3-2 lead.
Yeah, I doubt Clark is going to tempt fate. Try and steal on Matthew Ward.
And I'm not sure if you can see on your screen at home, but one of the Guelph coaches was frantically signaling to his right fielder to back up, respecting the power of Noah Hall, the 6th hitter in this lineup. And you can see the Royals right fielder, Andy Leader, is pretty far back there now.
Yeah, not just Andy Leader, but J.D. Williams and Ashton Patterson as well. Hull showing that he's got the swing to make things happen, but connects with nothing but air. 0-2 now the count.
Hull certainly does have that powerful swing, but now he's got to protect with 2 strikes. Got to imagine the pitcher throws a chase pitch.
We'll have to see as Thomas gets set and delivers that one sent on a line, but just foul.
Well, that is impressive to take a pitch down and in, a fastball at that, and turn on it, send it that far foul. That is something you don't see very often. Hull certainly has that power, and he's got those fast hips, which allowed him to get around to that baseball. It's still 0-2.
It's all in the hips. As that one fouled back, Hull stays alive. Yeah, even just on a foul alone, sending it back towards Kathleen Street. The street running practically parallel with our bleachers on the right field or first base side of Hastings. Sending it all the way back there really shows the kind of power that Hull brings to the table.
Great bat-to-ball skills, too. We'll see what he does here.
The 0-2 becomes a 1-2 as that one, a fastball down and in. Yeah, no dancing around over at first for Tristan Clark. He isn't going to want to dare Matthew Ward to throw over to second. It's Thomas taking his time here. Really making Hull wait for the 1-2. Runner takes off. That one is a ball, and the pitch isn't in time. Connor Morrow seemingly losing his footing. Perhaps even a minor collision with Clark over at second base, but doesn't matter how he did it. That will go down as a stolen base for Clark. So now a runner on second, a 2-2 count, 2 outs here, and 2 runs already scored for the Barrie Baycats. Too sweet, if you will.
Matthew Ward just took a little bit too much time there. I don't think he had a chance to get the runner either way, but didn't make it easy for himself.
Big swing and a miss, so the damage is still done. Barrie Baycats putting up those 2 runs, but Kyle Thomas gets them out of it safely. A big inning for the Baycats that puts them back ahead in this game, or puts them ahead, period, in this one. And yeah, Tristan Clark having himself an all-star worthy performance, and of course that's a perfect segue into mentioning that the All-Star game will be taking place at Barrie Arbor Stadium in Hamilton, home of the Cardinals. And of course Sunday, July 20th is the day to mark down on your calendars. Home Run Derby and the All-Star game taking place on that day. So head to the IBL's website to vote in your favorite Royal, your favorite Baycat, or your favorite player from any other team that is eligible. And, of course, go to the Hamilton Cardinals website to pick up your tickets for Sunday, July 20th, the IBL All-Star Game and Home Run Derby today. We do have a new pitcher on the mound, Christian Lazar. 26-year-old in his 9th IBL year. Yep, even at the young, tender age of 26. Lazar has already played for the Cardinals and the Welland Jackfish, and of course these Barrie Baycats, another returnee from last year's championship winning squad across his entire IBL career. 221 strikeouts, a 5.34 ERA, not to mention only 108 walks allowed. Heading into tonight's contest, a 7.10 ERA, 1 loss to his name, has 6 innings pitched across 4 games, a high leverage reliever for these Baycats, has 8 Ks and 1 walk, and was instrumental in that phenomenal regular season that the Baycats put together last year. Of course, running up a 5.03 ERA, 2 runs to his name, across 19 innings pitched, gave up just 6 walks, and struck out 9. He's a setup guy, doesn't usually go more than 1 or 2 innings, but does his work in that short time frame and does it well. And looks like he'll be getting a little visit from Johnston early on here. 2 going over a little bit of strategy with the top of the Royals order coming up now.
Lazar turned 28 years old a week ago today, hailing from Mississauga, Ontario. Stands at 6'2", weighing in at 200 pounds. Attended the University of Sioux Falls. His favorite sports team is the Toronto Blue Jays. Favorite player back in the day was Marcus Stroman.
Ooh, a man of culture.
Certainly. His favorite food, teriyaki chicken, as I'm just listing some fun facts here about Lazar.
The 1-0 count. The 1-0 pitch, I should say, is skied high by J.D. Williams, ranging over, and I mean well over, is wicket. Makes the play in place of Noah Hull. Had a better first step on it than Hull did. So already 1 retired here in the home half of the 8th. That is going to bring up Connor Morrow, the shortstop, and defensively, the man of the hour for the Royals. Has more than a few of his fair share of dazzling defensive displays out there at short tonight. He's going to drop down a bunt attempt. That is going to pop foul. 0-1 the count. A bit of a let's go Royals chant. Starting to gain a little weight here at Hastings. A couple fans jumping on board. Of course, as we mentioned before, pretty great crowd here at Hastings tonight. Both from the Royals fans making the trip in and the Baycats fans traveling in to come see their club. That one gets away from Johnston. Fastball in the dirt. 1-1 the count. Lazar, such an impressive pedigree.
2-time high school MVP for Lazar. He previously played for the Ontario Terriers and Mississauga Twins.
Now a 2-1 count on Connor Morrow. Still just 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Lazar shaking off the first few signs from Johnston. He'll get a couple seconds to debate over which pitch he wants to throw as Morrow calls time. Connor Morrow's going to send that one on a line into deep left field. That's going to hit the outfield grass. Morrow easily comes in with a stand-up 1-out double here in the bottom of the 8th.
Nice piece of hitting there by Morrow, sending that baseball right down the left field line. Perfect spot. He reaches second easily with that speed of his. And here comes Matthew Ward with a chance to tie the ball game. The tying run is at second base. Just 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th for the Royals. Matthew Ward, I would not think of him as a bunt candidate, but it looks like he's got a nice big hole for himself over on the right side of the diamond. Perhaps looking to push one through there.
And we will have to see if he can, as the first pitch from Lazar sent sailing into right center field. That one is drifting way, way back. That one is going to bounce off the wall. Garcia can't seem to find it. One run comes in to score. Heading for third. He's going to make the slide, and he is safe. Matthew Ward, not just a defensive wizard behind the dish, but can do plenty when the lights shine bright.
Electric stuff there from Matthew Ward. Sent that baseball deep into right center field. Morrow went back to second base to tag to see if the ball was going to be caught. No fielder came close. Morrow scored easily. And Matthew Ward, the catcher, slid into third base with a triple. You don't see that too often from catchers. But Matthew Ward, one of the speedier catchers in the league.
And that's what's so scary about this Royals roster, top to bottom, not just their starting lineup, the roster, top to bottom, is the amount of speed, agility, and athleticism that these guys bring to the table. Phenomenal stuff from Matthew Ward. And he's looking to do a little more running with Takamatsu at the dish, and he is looking to go yard. Takes a big hack at that one. Now an 0-2 count. Infielders still playing in. Obviously looking to prevent a bunt situation. Something the Royals have pulled off quite well tonight, as Jaden mentioned previously. Lazar, deep breath, and delivers the 0-2 as Takamatsu is going to ground that one into the outfield. Make it a 4-3 game off of that RBI single from Tak.
Well, Takamatsu was one of those guys that you really do not want to bring your infield in on. Obviously, the Baycats had to do so to try to cut down that runner at the plate. But Takamatsu, even though he kind of rolled over that one, sent it on the ground to the left side. He's so strong that he was able to get it past both infielders into left field for an RBI single. He's standing at first base. And the scoreboard reads Royals 4, Baycats 3.
Andy Leader gets all of that one, but sends it foul. Much to the delight of more than a few fans chasing after that one.
This game has certainly gotten interesting over the past couple of innings. It's been close all night long. Now it's going back and forth. We'll see what Andy Leader can do here.
That ball lost in the dirt, but Johnston diving on top of that one. Covers it up and count 1-1. Of course, it goes without saying that Takamatsu and Leader have played crucial roles in the Royals' offensive outpouring tonight. They were the first two runs to cross the plate for the home side. Of course, coming off those two errant wild throws from Morris, all the way back in the fourth inning. Lazar shaking off some signs. Finally gets one he likes. Takamatsu with a short, safe lead. That one, good vision from Leader to take that one. 2-1 now the count.
And Takamatsu can get a good secondary lead off of this pitcher because of the way his leg crosses over the rubber. At that point, he can no longer go to first, as that is a big swing and a miss from Leader. So unlike other southpaws, the current pitcher for the Baycats has a little bit of a more unorthodox delivery.
That one is chopped, but chopped foul. Leader stays alive. Yeah, Lazar with quite an interesting delivery, something that you don't see, like you mentioned, Jaden, from many southpaws. Obviously, in his IBL career, it has worked in his favor. He's a champion after all. Delivers the 2-2. That one low in the dirt. And now a full count on Andy Leader. The Royals bullpen, couple pitchers who were warming up, tossing the baseball around between themselves. Now all standing and watching to see how this inning is going to shake out. The payoff pitch is high, so it'll be two runners aboard, Takamatsu and Leader. Of course, aforementioned, they were the first 2 runs to cross the plate for the Royals tonight. So a big, big opportunity here for who else but third baseman Jordan Gallo.
The always dangerous Jordan Gallo coming up here for the Royals. Last season, Gallo played for Connor State, and he sends a deep fly ball to right field. Get up, gone!
All the way back to Kathleen Street. Sayonara baseball. Jordan Gallo gets all of that one. All of it and more. This youngster continues to impress, and I would not be surprised if he becomes a permanent fixture in that starting lineup. The big man getting high fives up top from LaRue, Takamatsu, and Leader, and a standing O from the crowd here at Hastings. Have yourself a night, young man.
What a moment for the 18-year-old Jordan Gallo, blowing this game open here in the bottom of the 8th.
Jordan Gallo looking much more like Joey Gallo there. That one, a no-doubter. A perfect swing if you're an MLB The Show. That one, just like Clark's home run a couple innings ago, didn't just leave, the bullpen area, left the park entirely as Brando LaRue sends that one drifting back into left field. Ranging back is Clark. That one is going to drop. Just bounced off the top of the outfield wall, so it'll be a stand-up, 1-out double for Brando LaRue. They say when it rains, it pours, Jaden. Well, the Royals are certainly giving themselves an offensive outpouring here in the bottom of the 8th.
Josh, it wasn't looking too promising for them coming into this inning, down 3-2, but what an inning this has been for the Guelph Royals. That 3-run jack from Jordan Gallo, who, might I say, could see himself on an all-star game, on an all-star roster soon.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Go vote now on the IBL's website. Lazar, interestingly enough, stays in the game. Hammond voluntarily steps away from that one, lets it sail by. I don't think he called time, but still adjusting his elbow pad, an 0-1 count now because of it. LaRue, the runner at second. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Check swing by Hammond, called a strike there. Another one that could have gone either way. As Hammond now clarifying things with the umpire.
2 strikes here to Hammond. Got to put the bat on the ball. Keep this energy up.
Takes a big swing there, and he is retired in 3 straight pitches. Looking to follow up on what Jordan Gallo did. Almost called him Joey Gallo there.
Certainly playing like him today.
Yes, he is. That is going to bring up the Roadrunner, Ashton Patterson, who hasn't quite had, the best tonight offensively, but has made up for it on the defensive side of things. Putting in the work as he lets that one sail past him. 0-1 the count.
The crowd certainly getting behind Patterson here, wanting him to keep this momentum, continue adding to the lead.
Ooh, and he was certainly trying with that swing there. Connects with nothing but air. 0-2 the count. Patterson, not the hardest hitter, but the former Guelph Griffin really does try to put hard contact, and when he puts bat to ball, he certainly delivers, and delivers he does as he sends that one rocketing into center field, but the catch is made by Keys. Well, that's about as exciting as an 8th inning can get, and folks, regardless of which side you're supporting, this top of the 9th is going to be so interesting. Buckle up, grab your snacks, grab your drinks, because we are going all gas, no breaks from this point forward. The 9th inning coming up on Royals TV. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. Welcome back, fans, to Royals TV, and it's the eponymous Royals leading 7-3 here in the top of the 9th inning. And Jaden, we have got a new pitcher on the mound.
The 24-year-old Gaku Ueda from Japan spent the 2024 season pitching in Colombia. Over 28.2 innings, he pitched to a 1.26 ERA with a whip of 1.22, and he generates lots of swings and misses, as you just saw.
Very impressive stuff. And looking to shut the door against the Baycats. Ueda wasn't on the team that made it to the championship finals last year, but definitely feeling the feeling from his teammates who have been there and back, and looking to do them a solid and shut this one out. As that one curveball called a strike, 1-2 now the count.
And Boylan certainly did not like that one, but as you can see, it broke right over the inside corner. Real nice pitch there.
Weak contact made by Boylan. Chopping it foul, stays alive in this one. Ueda so far this season, 9 games, 14 innings pitched, 5.65 ERA. Has walked 3 and struck out 12. The punch-out is his specialty, and he's looking to pick up one more here. And gets it. A mean slider from Ueda. And already an out here in the top of the 9th.
Fantastic stuff there from Ueda. Got a big swing and miss from Boylan. Swung right over top of it. Didn't look real convincing. That's something that I've said multiple times tonight about these Baycats hitters. When they get in a 2-strike count, they expand the zone just a little bit too much, and their swings just haven't been real good with 2 strikes today. Something definitely to work on going forward, but we've got one out here in the 9th.
Ueda looking to keep momentum in his corner. Up against Johnston, the 8-hole hitter and catcher for the Baycats tonight. Fouled back, 0-1. Of course, Ueda facing off, guaranteed to face off against the latter third of the Baycats order, 7-8-9. As Johnston chops that one foul, and immediately an 0-2 count just like that. Royals defense playing the ball fairly straight up. Nothing tricky here. This way to get set and delivers the 0-2. That one a fastball that just drifted outside the zone, 1-2 the count.
Looked like that one had a little bit of a hump to it,
Yeah.
but it ended up being called a ball. I think that is the right call from the home plate umpire. Real close take. It's 1-2.
Trying to get Johnson swinging. Able to do it nonetheless. Another mean slider and another K for Ueda.
Ueda just has some nasty, nasty off speed. You see that one started on the inside, ended up right over the middle of the plate. The batter likely thought it was high, but there was nothing high about it. 2 down here in the top of the 9th.
Well, it is Alex Wickett, the last hope for these Barrie Baycats as he sends that one spiraling foul.
Wickett looking to get on any way that he can. The third baseman, Gallo, is playing in on the grass, but there's not going to be a bunt attempt here.
That one is chopped on the ground. Brando LaRue racing in, flips it on to Takamatsu at first, and the Royals get sweet, sweet vindication. They take down the Barrie Baycats and get revenge for how last year's finals turned out. And ultimately, I would say, Jaden, not only was it the offense doing some heavy lifting, but the pitching as well. What did you see from the Royals pitching staff tonight?
Outstanding stuff. Absolutely outstanding stuff. Edgar Garcia got the start. 3 scoreless innings. He ended up getting pulled in favor of Jordan Taylor. The 18-year-old came in, absolutely shut down the Baycats offense. He was followed by Kyle Thomas, who did some more incredible pitching of his own. Got unlucky, gave up a couple of deep fly balls, a couple of extra base hits. But thankfully for this Royals offense, they were able to come back in a huge fashion, and it was not a save situation for Gaku Ueda in the end, but he got the job done. Absolutely filthy stuff from Ueda to finish off this ball game. Josh?
Gets the job done no matter how you slice it. And for these Royals fans, the Kingdom go home happy. They just love to see it. And Baycats fans coming out in droves tonight, so credit where credit is due. But yeah, a lot of missed opportunities for the Baycats. Phenomenal pitching, of course. But you look at that scoreboard, and that is all people are going to see at the end of the day. 7-3, the final score for your Guelph Royals, who improve to 7-11, nice, on the season, and the Baycats, who drop to 7-9. Of course, these two teams heading into tonight's contest, 6th and 7th, respectively. Baycats up on the Royals and looking to bounce back after a slow start to the season. Well, now they find themselves on a 3-game losing skid, thanks to tonight the Royals picking up their 3rd straight win and starting to build some momentum. Jaden, any last thoughts?
Well, we can't leave tonight without talking about the offense. And they got shut out for quite a while by Ethan Morris early on, who got pulled in the 4th inning after giving up a couple of runs on wild pitches. Now the offense capitalized on that, kept their momentum going, and looking out at that scoreboard, out in right field, scored 5 runs in the 8th inning, which was capped off by that massive 3-run jack from the 18-year-old Jordan Gallo. What more do you have to say about this offense, Josh?
I think you said it all yourself. Just an offensive outpouring, and if the Royals can keep their momentum going, then they are going to be a team to watch out for. Of course, their very next home game coming to you live right here on Royals TV will be this Saturday, June 28th, up against the better Toronto Maple Leafs. It'll be a tough home test for these Royals, but with momentum on their side, who knows, really could go either way. If you're a betting man or woman, I would say the Royals are your best pick. These guys have a lot of momentum in their corner, and if they can keep it up, well, Jaden, they're going to be unstoppable heading in to July, August, even the playoffs. The final score tonight, 7-3 for your Royals, and on behalf of our outstanding producer, Jacob Chappelle, I'm Josh Alderman. He's Jaden Prasad, saying goodbye and good night until next time.